All right, welcome to the Jeff and Matt show. We're talking about Flyin Ted and Texas and a number of other issues. This week, personally, I am very upset with Senator Cruz, very angry with him, and I shall explicate my reasoning behind my vitriolic wrath towards Senator Cruz. If you've watched the Matt and Jeff show, or if you are the Jeff at this point, you know that I am Senator Cruz's #1 fan, but he's ticked me off for the last time, maybe this time. I don't know. We'll see about it. But I'm going to defer to you on this. I want to hear your what's that?
Defer to me.
Yeah. No, I want to hear. I want to hear your take on this. I want to hear your take on it.
Okay, well, I think it's really a horrible disaster down in Texas. I mean, even on my social media rants, I like to post memes and weird stuff about things. And I like to pick on Texans just because they need to be picked on. That's all there is to it,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't pick on Texans this week. And the reason is because they're in a horrible place. You know, their governor, Abbott, Rick Perry, all the other ones that come from Texas, they were even warned 10 years ago that this was going to happen. They had the same problems already starting, and they did absolutely nothing about it. They only made it worse because they kept buying more equipment, and not just windmill equipment or solar equipment, but when your gas turbines are failing and your coal plants are failing because you got cold water because your steam is freezing and things like that, condensate's freezing up on the way back, that's just unacceptable if you can't run a plant. Now, I know it's odd, it's strange, it's a 100-year storm, whatever, but I still don't cut those guys any slack because you gotta be able to take care of your people. But speaking of taking care of people, now we'll go to what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when Cancun Ted jumped on a plane. I was watching the video of him putting his stuff in the overhead, and I was just like, this is not gonna go well. I didn't know how it was going to be on the plane. The afternoon or whatever. He just doesn't show how horrible he is and how he doesn't really care about his constituents. And today, or yesterday I should say, Beto O'Rourke had over 100,000 calls that went out to seniors to make sure they were safe and they had heat and they were there. I mean, AOC raised $2 million. She's from New York. She's got nothing to do with Texas. She's only a congresswoman anyway. And she still raised $2 million, and she's down in Texas right now giving away things to the people that need it, And where's Flyin Ted? He's cruising back and forth and blaming his daughters about I had to go on a holiday, leaving his dog at home with no heat. Come on. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this guy.
Come on, man.
I'm going to defer to you, okay?
All right,
what do you think of your buddy Flyin Ted?
Well, okay, so a couple things. One thing I did want to hit before I get to Senator Cruz is I want the audience to know for posterity that I put together the defense of former President Trump in the Senate impeachment trial. That was my brainchild. They just didn't know it was my brainchild before they took it from me because, as you'll recall, a few weeks ago, we talked about did Trump incite an insurrection with his speech on the 6th. And my contention was, well, if he did, then there's several other Democrat representatives, government officials, what have you, vice presidential candidates, now vice presidents, who use similar types of language. And I demonstrated that to you a few weeks ago, which is exactly what was a key component to Trump's defense in the Senate. So, thank you very much. It was my idea, even though they didn't consult me. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there, just to show you.
Good. We'll give you credit.
Yeah, right. All right. So anyway, all right. The reason I'm ticked off at Senator Cruz is because not only should he have gone to Cancun like he planned to, he should have stayed down there and told everybody else to fuck off. That's what he should have done. That's why I like Senator Cruz, because he doesn't go for these bullshit optics like AOC and Beto. Oh, look at me handing out water. Oh, look how good I'm looking. And that he doesn't play. That's why I like Senator Cruz, because he doesn't play that bullshit politics. He had no business. The only thing he would have been in Houston or in Texas was in the way. He has no authority there. He has no decision-making ability whatsoever. Yeah, could he go hand out some blankets and water bottles and that sort of thing? Maybe, but even then he probably would. Even then, he probably would have been in the way. I mean, think about this. It's not like, AOC's just like this no-name representative and Beto's this no-name person in Texas, and they show up to some place to, quote, help out. That's bullshit. If they wanted to help out, they should stay the hell away from those places. Because all
so
they
what you're saying, hold on. So what you're angry about with Cruz is he flew home to try to get the optics right.
Exactly right. Yep, he caved in to the pressure. And like I said, he just should have told everybody to pound sand that, hey, look, I'm taking my girls down here to do this with my wife. We're doing this. We're staying down here. This is what we're doing. I don't care how it looks, because there's nothing else I can do. I've taken care of my decision-making authority there whatsoever. If I go show up to hand out blankets, basically all I'm going to be doing is drawing a bunch of attention to myself and not to the people who need the help, which is exactly what Beto and AOC and whoever dumbass other representative, Sheila Jackson Lee, who incidentally claimed that she was able to import hydropower into Texas. Did you hear that video clip? That was hilarious. Oh yeah. Oh, she got on the air. Oh, Maxine. Yeah, she's the one of the representatives from the Houston area. I mean, not Maxine, but Sheila Jackson Lee. She was bragging about how she brokered a deal to bring in hydropower. I'm like, what? Where are you bringing in hydropower from?
You didn't have to be connected.
Right, and right. Texas
you have
isn't
to be connected to it to get.
Right, Texas isn't. No, they're not connected.
That's a good thing, not being connected.
Well, now that's a whole other issue. So right, so again, that's the point. I want to drive that point home about the situation. The one of the main reasons I like Senator Cruz is because he cuts against the grain. He is not an optics politician. All right, he's going to do.
He is.
Huh?
He is.
Well, he
does a lot of grandstanding when he's in the Senate. He makes sure he has these little flowery, bills that he puts together that mean nothing. He wants to name a post office or something like that, but he'll champion a bill. Anyway, go on.
Well,
he's a poser. He's a poser.
The other reason I like Senator Cruz is not for what he's done. I'm not, I'm kind of like you. I've not been impressed necessarily with anything he's done. What I like is that he obstructs. That's what I like. And he does a damn
That's what I don't like.
And he does a damn good job of it. Okay. So
you know what the beauty of this thing is now is that the Republicans are out, the Democrats are in, and we're going to move this country forward. And all those obstructionists can go sit in the corner. Because as soon as they finally get back to obstruction, get rid of the filibuster, vote on it, and get some. Lived with, 6 years of Barack's term with obstruction, and 4 years with Trump with doing nothing. So we got to get that done and move forward.
So anyway, yeah.
That's why I don't like to. That's why I don't.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He's a poser.
Well,
okay.
Bernie Sanders. I don't think Bernie Sanders is a poser. I think he's absolutely genuine. I think he
is too.
Okay. Well, I think that, you may disagree with what Senator Cruz does, but I don't think he's a poser. Because if he was a poser, he would have been.
He's a obstructionist then, okay? He's not there to get anything done. Yeah.
No. He's there to mostly stop stuff. Yeah.
Yep. That's bad. And that's why they need to vote him out, so he gets some things done. That's why we need to vote him out.
Okay. Well, so at any rate, that'll be a decision the state of Texas makes in 2024. That's when he's back up for re-election,
Right.
which he might be president by then.
Oh, he'll run for president for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
He'll be running
he might win.
Trump, so that's a whole nother story now. I'm really, really glad that Trump was acquitted.
Well, you should be, and that's the other thing that I love what the Dems have been doing so far, especially in the legislature. They're spending all this time. They passed another resolution today. They're spending all this time, trying to bury Trump. I guess I don't know what the point of any of this is. I'd be thrilled. I'd be pleased as punch if they brought up Senator Cruz and Senator Hawley on impeachment charges. Let's do it.
Let's go to impeachment anymore. They're doing a regular investigation like they did with Benghazi with Clinton, right? They're going to do the same kind of thing, but they're going to do it with Trump, and they're going to do it with whoever else, is implicated with it.
Good. As long as they're doing that bullshit, I don't have to worry about them pricing me out of.
But they're not just doing that. That's the beauty of it. They're not just doing that.
Well,
it's like this evening they just hand over the $1.9 trillion bill to get ready to go to the Senate. It'll go up for vote next week, and it'll go to the Senate next week early.
Yeah.
So they're moving things along.
Yeah. Well, and that's that thing they're moving along. I'm not sure what else they are moving along. But again, I'm happy to have the distraction. You want to mess around with Cruz. You want to mess around with Hawley. As long as it takes them off their game for whatever you might consider progress. Okay, so
no. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I consider those guys. That whole Trump mess and everything else is nothing of a distraction, and it's the same kind of stuff that all these. It's a distraction that stops people and roadblocks people and everything else. So the quicker they just put it behind them, like they did the impeachment trial, the better. The faster they can get that out of the way, put a pin in it, let's move on.
Right.
So
well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm continually astonished at what the Dems spend time on, namely like passing resolutions where we don't want Trump's name on any. We don't want. We want to erase Trump's presidency as much as we possibly. Go ahead, spend your time on that.
It's not about erasing his presidency. All we're doing is go back and negating his executive orders. He didn't have a presidency.
I'm not talking about that.
He didn't do anything.
Right. Well, what I'm talking about is if here in the county of Allen in the great city of Fort Wayne, Indiana, here, if I ever got elected to public office, I might want to name a street after President Trump. Well,
that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. But the House has passed a resolution that Trump's name is not to be allowed on any state or federal property. Right.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Yeah. But anyway.
But I love it. I'm hey, spend your time. I'm kind of like I'm the same thing with it. So a lot of the pubs and that sort of thing, or in the pundits, I guess the conservative punditry, I would say, they're all up in arms about the public schools continuing to be closed. I'm like, leave them closed. They're awful places anyway. They don't need to be reopened anyhow. Just leave them closed for as long as possible, and hopefully,
here we go.
Hopefully they'll be. I hope Chicago. I hope the teachers' unions in Chicago refuse to go back to work for so long that the public schools dry up and die in Chicago, especially in a place like Chicago. That'd be great. So I'm rooting for all that. You go teachers' union.
Uneducated kids.
Do what?
We're gonna have a bunch of uneducated kids.
Well, no, I don't think that's true, because I think parents are smart enough to find alternatives, and they already are. And the longer the teachers unions delay, the more they will guarantee that that the children that once attended their schools will no longer be attending their schools, but will be attending alternatives that people with more of a head on their shoulders, other than a teachers union representative would.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're like a parent whenever they close schools, right? You hear it on the radio and you look out your street and you go, well, my street's clear. Why are they closing schools? How come my kid can't go to school? But then the other side of the city is completely socked in with 10 inches of snow and nobody can get around. They can't even get to schools or anything like that. But in your little world, you're looking out and you're going, well, I don't have a problem. And that's how you are with like systematic racism, with the school thing. There's a lot of things. If it doesn't affect you directly, then you just want to, it's not a problem. We could just fix it your way because you should just do it. Everybody should do it your way. I think that we should have public schools. Public schools have been around since when? Check my watch. I don't know, a couple centuries here in the United States?
No, absolutely not.
Why are they supposed to fail? Really?
No, public school.
I'll give you at least a century. I'll give you a century at least, right?
Probably
because you know
close
that our grandfather went to a public school, right? He used to ride his horse to school.
Well, right, but yeah, okay. I might have to research the history on that a little bit. You know, the notion.
I think we both need
the notion of public schools is probably less than a third of our country's history would be my guess. I mean, when I'm talking about official government funded, you know, okay, we're really going to do this thing type idea. Anyway, all right, that's neither here nor there. I just my observation of the Dems is they are shooting themselves in the foot with some of their policy pursuits right now. That being one of them. I just cannot get my mind around. Okay, if you're in the teachers union, and again, I think they're deluded. They think, well, hey, we're in the union. We've got the power. We get to say what goes. And then all of a sudden, oh wait, there's no children that are coming to our schools anymore. Now what are we going to do? Is the government going to?
But that's not the case. The case is we've got a lot of children staying at home that need to go to a school. There is no alternative for all those kids to go to school.
Right. Well,
so are we supposed to wait until, you know, I'll use your private school analogy. I'm going to break it down like Texas electricity. Okay, their electricity grid is based on, it was all privatized. It's all based on capitalism, and look where it got them. Okay, you have to put money in to make sure you have things covered for those rainy days. All right, same thing with the public schools. You got to put money in to make sure it's done right.
All right, so
not going to be privatized. There's not going to be some capitalist guy in the corner. Elon Musk is not investing in private schools today.
Right. So, but the problem with the problem with it is that again. So take here's a microcosm of this. And I want to leave the public. We can have the public school private school debate another day.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that public schools aren't open. I think that the children that go to public schools are actually harmed more by public schools than they benefit.
Oh, here we go.
So,
and how are they harmed? By reading, writing, and arithmetic?
Okay,
or because
so maybe
they're not taught beliefs? Here we go. You went down that trail because that's what you want to say is they're being harmed because they're not taught beliefs.
Have you read any of the cutting edge educational material on mathematics these days? You know.
I've seen some. I'm not going to say I've read it all. I've seen some of it, and I don't like it. I like the way I learn math. Okay, I'm used to doing that.
And I'm not just talking about Common Core. I'm talking about people who are PhDs in mathematics, right, who will tell you that the simple notion of 2 + 2 = 4 is a white supremacist construct, and should not.
No, I don't.
And shouldn't.
You know, math is math. Science is science.
No, that's not what these people believe, Jeff. I'll send you. I'll
tell you what. No, you'll have to send it to me because math is math, science is science. And history is written by the victors, and beliefs are the beliefs of the people, and they like to expound.
Okay,
upon
so
them, okay,
well,
that's the way
right,
it is.
So all right, I want to leave that one. I'll send you some stuff from my my editor at the Federalist. That's her main shtick is education. I mean, she has got some doozy art. I mean, it'll blow your mind what some of these people are saying.
Send me some stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. So the Texas grid. From what I understand, the problem was that Texas was relying on a good chunk of wind power and some solar power to maintain the grid. Right.
You must be listening to that one radio show that talks about that, because Texas grid only relies on 8% renewables. 8%. If 8% took the entire grid down, 80% of the grid, tell me how that works.
Well, no, I'm not sure what you mean by 8%. Before
8% of their power is generated by renewables.
Over
solar and
over what? Over what?
Over the entire state, only 8% is generated by renewables at this point. That's not a bunch of windmills turning off.
That's not the statistics I had. The statistics I have were telling me that we're talking about somewhere between 30 and 40% from wind.
They don't even have that many windmills. They can't generate. They only have 8% of installed power is windmills and solar.
Yeah, well, that's Again, we're gonna have to fact check this, because I've got facts that are telling me otherwise. That on a day-to-day basis that wind and solar were providing anywhere from 30 to 40% of the power to the Texas grid. That's
on a good day they could. On a good day, that 8% could supply 30 to 40% of the power. On a good day, on a sunny, windy Texas summer day, they would be able to turn down some of their other plants and be able to supply that 30 or 40% of the power. But they still have the installed power supply. It's only 8%. So the other 92% is by coal, nuclear, gas, and even oil.
Well, and
so you've got
I guess my bottom line point to it is, just from a layman's perspective, is why mess around with unreliable stuff like solar and wind? Why even mess with it?
What do you mean? Why mess with it? Well, one reason is because we just got back in the Paris Accord today. That's the reason. We're heading in a direction right now. Didn't you see that?
What? We got back. Okay, we got back in the Paris Accord. That's why we need wind and solar.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
that's part of it.
Okay, let me just throw a hypothetical at you for the sake of argument. Let's say for the sake of argument that to be in compliance with the Paris Accord, that meant that 500 Texans froze to death. Worth it?
I don't know. To have capitalism in the Texas electrical grid.
This? How about they install about 10 nuclear plants in Texas?
I'm okay with that too.
Okay.
That's clean.
And why are we messing around with wind and solar? That's bullshit source, completely unreliable source of energy. It's a waste of time.
Okay.
It's not going to get you. What it's going to do is it's going to get people killed, and that's what it did in the case of Texas. Wind and solar got people killed. It did. Absolutely did.
You know what?
Absolutely did, because they were sinking all this money into it. They were subsidizing it, and they didn't have the gas-powered, the oil-powered, and the coal-powered plants and the nuclear plants online to ramp up at a rate to offset this storm. They didn't have that ready. They were relying too heavily on these unreliable sources. Get rid of that shit. They look ugly on the landscape anyway. They're complete blight to our landscape. Get rid of that crap. Get nuclear plants put in there, and that will solve the problem immediately. Then you can get rid of coal, gas, whatever else you want to get rid of, but put the nuclear plants in. But what do the greenies say? No, we don't want nuclear plants. Oh, they're too scary, and Chernobyl and Fukushima. And no, that's what goes on, Jeff, and you know it. You know that's because that's exactly. And again, you talk about Greg Abbott. I think Greg Abbott is a jackass. He is a self. He's a self.
But anyway, let's get back to that. I wanted to get back to one thing, right? So on a good day, like I said, they probably make 30, 40% of them. So they are clean energy. Okay, the wind is blowing. We're getting some wind. We're making energy. We don't have to burn any fossil fuels. We don't have to buy any fossil fuels to burn. We don't have to worry about cleaning up the environment and having scrubbers on the back end of all these plants. Nothing like that. You can get that with nuclear. You can get it with wind. You can get it with solar. Okay, nuke plants don't shut down. They run. They can be turned down some, but even they have a minimum that they can be turned down. Yeah. Right. I'm going to tell you right now that if you think that the wind took it out, then there was a mismanagement problem in the Texas grid.
No, I agree with that 100%.
They knew the storm was coming.
And
they should have been turning those plants on, and they should have been ramping those plants up.
They should have had a much better contingency plan for this situation. Because
not contingency, they should have it in their normal plan.
Well,
this was foreseen. They knew it was coming. They knew days ahead of time to get these things working.
So there's where I think
maintenance.
Yeah, there's where I think you and I will agree, is that yes, I 100% agree that it was completely mismanaged, and Texas outsourced this thing to this ELCRA, the whatever that acronym is, I know what you mean. They outsourced it to these folks who obviously can't find their ass with both hands.
But they're making a lot of money. They're capitalists.
Well, hey, do
you want to regulate how much money they can make? Come on now. It'd be like
no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is putting this. It was completely mismanaged. Whoever's game plan this was, with the wind, the solar, and the whole mix of it. Whoever's game plan this was, I mean, why is it that
how come the windmills are still turning in Iowa and Nebraska and even Alberta and Saskatchewan? How come those windmills are still working?
Well,
I don't know
why. I don't know why we are putting any amount of money into those unreliable sources, because they're completely unreliable.
They're not unreliable.
Why?
They are not unreliable. You're going to take one incident that was mismanaged, and then you want to throw a whole section.
You admitted yourself that on a good day they could produce the energy, but on
the very best, they produce more energy on the best day. On the best day, a coal-fired plant is going to produce more energy.
Why not get rid of all that crap and put nuclear plants in? Why? Nuclear is completely reliable. It's completely clean.
Yep.
Why are we screwing around with this stuff that's unreliable?
Because there's a stigma in America, not in my backyard. Nobody wants a nuclear plant in their backyard. We only got like 110 of them in the United States, something like that now. And they're not going to build very many more. They built 2 more units at Plant Vogtle in Georgia. They got one of them almost ready to start now on the new AP 1000 that was designed by Westinghouse here in the United States and then sold to China. China's already built 6 of them, I think, something like that. So they know that they run. They know that that's going to run in Georgia. They canceled the other ones that were going up in Virginia, and it's because it's not in my backyard. Nobody wants a nuke plant because of all the stigmatism that's gone on since, like you said, 3 Mile Island and anything else.
And that's and again that is a policy failure and a lack of leadership from those who have command of it. If Greg Abbott had any balls, instead of getting the wind award, he got some award for wind here a while back.
Right.
Instead of getting that, what he should have been doing was saying, look, we got to get more nuclear plants in here. That's what he should have been pushing for. And he should have been convincing the people that were nervous, okay, am I going to have a nuclear plant in my backyard? Well, Lord, we've got all this land in Texas. There's plenty of places to put nuclear plants. There's a nuclear plant right by Mom and Dad's house. Do we ever see it? Not unless you want to drive out and look at it. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, there's no.
Texas.
I mean, that's the stuff that Abbott should have been pushing. So yes, I am not an Abbott fan. I think he's a. You want to talk about he's the optics guy. He's the guy that wants to look good in front of the cameras. That's the kind of guy he is. Again, contrast to Senator Cruz, which, again, I wish he would have just told everybody to fuck off. And I'm gonna spend the week down here in Cancun where it's warm with my family. I've taken care of my responsibilities. You guys can go to hell. That's what I wish he would have said.
The dog's a little cold, but it's okay. He left his dog at home too.
Oh, he had security guards all over. He's got security guards all.
He had security guards to feed the dog, but the dog was still left in 30-degree weather inside his house.
Uh-huh.
No warmth. I don't know. Do you leave your dog like that? You leave your dog outside?
Not outside.
Well, but if your house was
but the guards
30
were
degrees,
seeing to it that the dog was taken
Okay.
care of. The dog was fine. See, again, this is
the optics are bad.
the
for it.
optics. Oh, the optics.
Poor little guy. I saw the
Yeah,
picture.
yeah.
Poor
We
little
could.
guy leaving the door.
Yeah, and personally, again, I would have loved for Senator Cruz to say, "Hey, we love our dog, but it's a damn dog. If it dies, it's a bummer."
Buy another one.
Yeah. So
That's how some dog people are.
anyway,
I guess.
yeah, I just I hate that brand of politics where people show up to places just for the photo op, just to look good, just for the optics. Even folks on my side of the aisle are, Senator Cruz, he really didn't do anything wrong, but the optics. Yeah. No. I don't do
No, he didn't do nothing.
What's that?
He didn't do nothing wrong.
No, he did absolutely. The only thing he did wrong was coming back. He should have stayed down there.
Well, the thing he did wrong was he shouldn't have gone
No.
because he already knew what the optics would
No.
be. What he did was when he came back, he substantiated his. He actually told everybody, "Oh, by the way, it was wrong." And he got off and he made some bullshit comment at the airport that,
And that's
okay,
why I'm pissed.
I did so bad. I knew it was wrong.
Right. That's why I'm pissed at him, because he shouldn't have done that. He should have. He should have given him. He should have done this. Yeah, that's what he should have done.
Boy, it's Friday night
I
and
know.
we're live, man.
I hope my mom and dad don't watch this, because I'm.
I know you're getting cranked up.
I'm not being disingenuous, Jeff. I was pissed when he did that.
I bet
I
you
was
were.
like,
I know.
that is not.
Do you have your cruise there with you? Can you put your cruise hat on for us?
Where's my cruise hat? Oh, it's upstairs.
I know it's there.
I'm gonna have to wear that.
It's next to the.
I have to wear that one week.
It's next to the.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, that's the
we
thing
got
is.
more people to talk about today. We got to talk about somebody
Yeah.
else. We beat up Cruz. So what about this Rush Limbaugh guy, man?
Oh,
really sad to see his passing, huh?
What
do you got to say about that?
Well, it broke me up. It really did. I've listened to him since the beginning. I mean, I grew up in the Reagan era, and I liked President Reagan, and I had some political inclinations that I just couldn't quite put words to, because I would have folks, come to me and talk to me about, more liberal type policies, tax and spend policies, and these sorts of things. Even stuff like abortion or whatever else. Didn't I kind of had a gut feeling about, okay, this is what I think about this, but I can't really spell it out. And so Uncle Keith introduced me to this guy called Rush Limbaugh. And, and I started listening to him, and I started watching. That's about the time I started to drive, so I could listen to him on the radio and watch him on TV. And I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, baseline budgeting? I didn't know what baseline budgeting was. He just explained to me that, the budget never gets when they talk about doing a cut in the budget. What they're talking about is not doing an actual cut in the budget. What they're talking about is cutting what they thought they were going to increase the spending. So if the spending was going to be 5%, a cut was, we're only going to increase it 3%. So it was stuff. Right. It was stuff like that no, that's it. No, I mean anytime. I mean we've never had a cut. Not never, but we haven't had a cut.
Well, years, but anyway, go on.
Yeah, since the Reagan years, we haven't had a no. So anytime somebody talks about a cut, that's what they're talking about. They're not actually talking about a cut in spending. They're talking about a cut in the increase of how much the budget's going to go up. So anyway, so baseline budgeting, the whole notion of, he was able to give voice, to a personal issue, of course, not just personal, but I think very, very crucial issue of abortion. Back in his early days when Rush would talk about this, he would talk about, okay, he would really emphasize to people the pro-life message of, okay, let's really get down to brass tacks here. Do we have a human life in the womb or don't we? That's really the argument.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Right.
so it was stuff like that.
So do we or don't we? What do you think?
I think we definitely do. But yeah.
How come I don't get to write off them on my income tax? Come on, man. Nobody else believes it. Nobody believes it except just conservatives. Anyway, go on. What other things you like about?
Okay, so wait. I'll just pursue that line a little bit. So pregnancy lasts 9 months, right? That's within a tax year. By the time the babies are born, it's a tax write-off. So maybe I'd be cool with that. So let's change the tax law to say that let's change the tax law to say that if you conceive, that you get a tax write-off. I'm cool with that. 100%. Yeah, I'd be down with that.
So, like I just said, I got 2 boys. So I got 3 boys. But 2 of them were born in January, and one of them was born on the 2nd, and one of them was born on the 3rd. I missed both those deductions by just a couple of days because they were born. And that write them off. And believe it or not, this was back in those years that you were talking about when
that settles it. Man, that was okay, man. I'll give that
missed 2 write-offs.
Reagan should have passed a tax law that said when you conceive, boom, you can write them off.
But what if you miscarry then?
You still write them off.
Wow, you're generous. You're so generous. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on. Tell me more about Rush.
I want people to keep more of their money. Yeah, I'm really generous.
Okay.
So anyway, so back to Limbaugh, so really, through, my high school, early college years, even into the time where I was, thinking about kind of going liberal in a lot of ways.
Yep.
I kept listening to Rush, and especially the past 10 years or so as a trucker, he's just kind of the middle of my day. So not that I sat there and listened 3 hours a day religiously every day. I didn't. I would I'd put them on, and sometimes I would, if especially during election season and that sort of thing, or if the news cycle was particularly hectic or whatever, would listen to Rush. It was just, he just personally for me a staple of my life.
Right.
And so I was broken up.
You found yourself. Yeah. So you were happy.
Because
that Medal of Freedom too, then.
Yeah, no, I very much think he deserved that. I like him or hate him, you can't deny that he was an incredible influence on American politics. I mean, there's
absolutely.
There's no way around that, and you can.
Well, beyond politics, I think he was an incredible influence on American culture, sections of culture. Absolutely, kind of like Howard Stern. He's like a shock jock, and just. Howard Stern did it one way, and Rush was on another end of the spectrum that was just trying to shock everybody. I mean, some of his favorite things were, like when he used to sing the song, Barack the Magic Negro. You remember that?
I do. But you know who made that? You know who wrote that? The Barack the Magic Negro. Yeah, it was an L.A. Times columnist that called Barack Obama the Magic Negro. And then Rush's parody guy just wrote that,
Sure.
Right. So, it was a liberal, not New York Times, L.A. Times columnist that spoke of Barack Obama as the Magic Negro.
But I think that Rush really put it in context. Right?
Yeah. Well, but okay. So and again, I am a great appreciator of parody. From either side. I get a good chuckle out of stuff like Flyin Ted. I thought that was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
When they started calling
with
it
the Lion Ted.
Yeah, I was like that.
And I love that stuff too.
Whatever. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's all.
That's all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Well. Yeah. Right. So that's all in.
Well, what do you think? What do you think about it? He coined the phrase "welfare queen," didn't he? Way back when.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And what do you think about,
so
so your little, I didn't want to put you on the spot just a little bit. Like you like to do that to
that's
me
good.
too sometimes. You know, he used to do
That's fine.
the whole song and dance about, and bring up the names of AIDS victims that had died too, right? He used to do a whole
I don't.
section in his thing about how happy he was about the AIDS victims that died.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not aware of that.
Oh yeah, he'd even call them out by name sometimes too. You know,
Yeah.
and then laugh.
Um.
It was this kind. I'm gonna tell you. I used to listen to Rush, kind of that same period that you started listening to Rush too. And I used to drive a lot because I worked in construction sites and engineering and driving around the country. So I'd be driving. Most of my driving was on a weekend. So I'd leave on Sunday night late, and then drive to like South Carolina from Ohio. Drive to South Carolina or go to Missouri or something like that of recent back in the '90s, right? And then on Fridays, then I would drive back home to Ohio. So I had a lot of windshield time. So I was able to pick up Rush sometimes live, sometimes not live, because that's all you had was the radio back then. We didn't have all the internet radio and all the other stuff. And
Right.
I really did listen to it.
Right.
And but I think my life changed after a certain point, toward the end of the '90s, where that's whenever I changed my thinking about all this, trying to stop people from doing things and maybe understanding why people do things, right? And Rush carried that on till the very end. Even Howard Stern, I brought him up just a little while ago. I heard a really nice, and I was actually, he's the shock jock. He is the original shock jock. Um,
Yeah.
and I heard an interview with him on PBS a while back. And even he admits that he just said stuff for shock. And I think for sure that Rush Limbaugh did a lot of that too. Just said stuff. He has ideas that he wants to show out there, but he would pick
Right.
on certain people and he would say things just for shock, just like Howard Stern. And even Howard Stern now, whenever you talk to him, he does interviews. He doesn't have the same show anymore. He
Right.
doesn't. He doesn't degrade women. He doesn't. I'm not trying to defend Howard Stern. I used to listen to him back then too, right? So I mean,
Yeah. Sure.
so you got to listen to all that.
Yeah. Don
Rush
Imus.
changed, and I'm sure you're glad of that. That Rush never changed. Howard Stern did change. I changed. I mean, I changed
Well,
in the way
but
I
well, so
too.
now, yeah, I'm not so sure that Rush never changed. I think he was more over the top in his early years, but he mellowed as he went on.
Yeah.
That's my observation. Now, not to say that, um, yeah, you're gonna have to give me some examples of how and when and in what context he called out AIDS victims. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
He's got
eh,
kind of
but at the,
quite a list of things that he did that were really horrible to people too. I know he's quite the uh, conservative hero because he says what he wants. He says what he's going to say. He never backs down. He says the things. He says the things that most conservatives won't say out loud because they don't want the repercussions. So Rush says it for them, and then they're riding their cars and trucks and they go, "Yeah, yeah." And it's the same way with Howard Stern. He'd say, "Oh, that girl needs a boob job. She's flat, right?"
right,
That's what everybody would say, but he says it out loud, right? Or pays people to do weird things or whatever. And I think I kind of put the two in the same category. When you brought this up about Rush coming on, you wanted to compare, contrast Rush with Larry Flint,
mm-hmm.
right? You brought his name up, and who brought more to the United States and what impact they brought to the United States. Now, I think that Rush has brought a lot to culture, a lot to conservative culture, but I think he's done a lot of division between conservative culture and the rest of the culture. Where Larry Flint, he's a little sketchy anyway. Being in Cincinnati, that's where he had all his court cases. That's where he fought the battles because Cincinnati said absolutely there's no pornography here. We don't allow strip joints. We don't allow anything inside the city or the whole Hamilton County. There are a few away from the county that you can go to here close in Cincinnati, but there's nothing in Cincinnati. They do have a bookstore and a sex toy shop downtown, and that's because of our First Amendment and Larry Flint that we have that, right? And he fought a huge battle to keep our First Amendment alive. And yeah, he fought it using sex, using all those things, but he still kept our First Amendment alive. I can't think of anything that Rush did that really kept our democracy stronger. Anyway, what do you guys say?
Well, so Larry, you want to talk about a misogynist, a womanizer?
Oh, he was horrible. Yeah, he was horrible. I agree. Yeah.
He built his entire fortune and industry off of taking advantage of women.
Well, consenting adult.
Consenting, right? So there's some documentaries. You got Netflix?
Yeah.
You should watch all the documentaries called After Porn. You should watch those.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
see and see.
I was thinking about some porn tonight. That'd be good.
No, well, they're just a fair warning. They are adult, no question about it. But those documentary you won't view them as pornography. But you can't convince me. And again, I don't have any scientific data on this. But you would be hard pressed to convince me that little girls dream of growing up and being sex workers. That's what they dream of.
No, I don't think they do.
What happens to women who end up in the sex trade is they are at rock bottom, and some predator like Larry Flynn comes along and says, "Hey, I'll make you rich if you just pose nude in front of the camera for me."
No, I don't believe that.
Well, you can.
I mean, I'm sure there are some.
You can not believe it if you want. You can not believe it if you want.
Okay.
But you explain to me how it is that Larry Flint got women to pose nude in front of the camera.
Some women like to do that.
Some
women like to be paid to do that.
No, Jeff, you disagreed with me that no little girl wants to grow up and be a sex worker. So you're telling me that all of a sudden they had an epiphany. They said, "Oh, I could go to Harvard Law and be a high-powered lawyer and make, $250,000 a year, or I can pose nude for Larry Flint." No, these women didn't have that choice. They were exploited by men like Larry Flint and Hugh Hefner in order to in a situation where they could become millionaires. That's what those men did.
So what you're saying? All sex workers are broken women.
Yeah. Yes. With no choice. And so predators like Larry Flynn come along and say, "Oh, here's somebody. I can watch those documentaries." Every one of those women will testify to that. They will say, "I was at my wit's end. I didn't know how to make money. I had a child at home. I didn't know what to do. And
there's drugs, there's all kinds of things that happen.
Whatever's going on. And I had a nice body. And here came a Larry Flint type, and said, "Hey, I can make you rich if you'll pose in front of my camera naked." And they,
that's the oldest profession in the world. Let's
okay,
let's
no, I don't disagree with that. But we should not. But it is. Pornography is misogyny. It's degrading to women. You would not want your daughter doing that. No girl would want to do that. The intent behind pornography is not free speech. It's masturbation. The reason Larry Flint produced the magazine he did is because he knew guys would buy it and jack off to it. That's why he did it.
But the reason he was in court was free speech.
Yeah, so he claimed. Right? Mm-hmm. But the problem with it is that we're too inept at understanding philosophy and understanding what beauty is. See, everybody thinks beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Bullshit, it's not. Beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. Pornography is not beautiful. It's exploitative. And it is purposefully exploitative. That is the intent behind it. The intent behind pornography is to put women in a situation where men will buy it to get themselves off. That's the intent behind pornography. There's nothing beautiful or lovely or free speech about any of that nonsense. There's
So there shouldn't be an Oscar for a porn.
You should not be watching porn because
I said an Oscar for a porn. There should be no Oscar category for porn.
no, there should not be. There should not be because I mean,
But
again,
so Larry took it to an extreme level. I know that how you feel about porn. Let's take that feelings away. Let's put that aside for a second.
okay.
Larry took it to an extreme level. He saved a lot of our First Amendment rights.
No,
in that
like
we have
how? Like what First Amendment rights did Larry Flint save for us?
Well, he if he sets the bar that low, that means you and I can have this type of channel.
Okay.
And
So
we don't have to
the bar is low for free speech, right? Way low.
Well,
Like
it's
so low,
and
like so low that we can call exploiting women for filthy lucre an element of free speech. But then you have the Dems come around and say the speech that Trump gave on January 6th, that's not covered under the First Amendment. Not covered.
Well, it's obviously covered under the First Amendment. He was acquitted. He's done. But
Well,
like
he should have never been impeached. He should. Well, you would agree, right? By those low standards of First Amendment, if we're gonna put the First Amendment standard down in the sewer with Larry Flint, then you're gonna come along and impeach a president.
Yeah.
For a speech he gave that
he was just charged. He wasn't found guilty. It's okay. He's acquitted. Move on.
What? But you would agree. So you would agree that the
speech.
So you would agree. So you would agree the charges against Trump were. You would agree that Trump did not incite violence.
No,
based on that standard.
Did Mitch McConnell say
that? No. The sewers down here. We're at Larry Flint level.
I know where the sewer is.
Okay.
You know, I
so
think
you think Trump was outside the bounds.
Yep.
You think he incited an insurrection?
He yelled fire in a crowded theater. Yes, he did. And you know what? Mitch McConnell agrees with it, and he did a chicken backhandle of it, going, "Oh well, we know he was guilty of this, and it'll all work out whenever they."
You want to talk about a guy who does. You want to talk about a guy who does optics well, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Okay, yeah. I fucking hate Mitch McConnell. Fuck Mitch McConnell.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
I even thought about moving to Kentucky just so I could vote again.
Yeah,
it's just across the river.
See, this is what pisses me off about you Dems, is that you all are unified. All you guys care about is winning.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care what you have to do. You don't care what you have to say. You win.
Dems don't gerrymander. Dems don't try to stop the vote. You know, I didn't see any Republicans out in Georgia going, "Come on, everybody, let's vote." No, you have to have a Stacey Abrams, a Dem, out there to get out the vote, right? Come on, the Republicans are the ones that suppress the vote. They try to control things, and now the Republicans are in. They were in a minority anyway, okay, and they haven't won an election. All they've won is the Electoral College, and when you really come down to it, the straw has broken the camel's back, and they probably have no recovery, especially if Trump stays valid for the next 2-3 terms, because he's going to just mess up the Republican Party, have it all split up, and there's going to be a huge mess.
That's possible, unless you've got a genius like Senator Cruz at the helm.
Well, we'll see. Mr. Genius didn't do so genius. He was coming through the airport.
So the thing of it is that
that's sidebite's going to play.
We'll see what happens in the midterm. I mean, the good news is it doesn't look like the Dems are going to make any bold moves to stop 2022, which best case scenario for the Dems, they lose the House, and good chance they lose the Senate as well. That's
best case is they keep both, and they keep on rolling.
Yeah, well
that would be best case.
No, unless they do something, very drastic, between now and 2022, they're going to lose that. They're going to lose the House.
I'm going to tell you why they're not. Okay, because there's a whole bunch of people that Trump isn't going to approve, and he's going to primary all of them.
Okay,
And
well,
all
we'll see
those
what
people
happens.
that primaried are going to be somebody that Trump
We'll
approves.
see what happens. But
I think that's what's going to happen.
Well,
He already told my senator Rob Portman that he was going to have him primaried, and Rob just said, "You know what? I don't even care. I'm out. I just retired. I'm not even coming back next time. I'll finish out my term and I'm done. I'm not playing this Trump game. I'm not a Trump Republican."
Well, and that's fine. If that's Portman's take on it, then somebody needs to get in there with a spine. But the thing of it is that the reason.
Let me get in there with that's what I call having a spine.
No, I that's what I call having no balls.
Yeah.
That's weak sauce.
Okay.
What I call balls is what Senator Cruz did. I mean, Senator Cruz was accused by Trump of being the Zodiac killer, and his dad was involved in the JFK assassination. He lied and all. You know what Cruz did?
What I heard.
Cruz was pissed. He's like,
yeah. And he said something about Heidi being ugly.
But I'm gonna get over it, and I'm gonna do what I think is best for my constituents and the American people. See, that's balls.
Yeah.
Because and that's the thing is. So here's the thing. Back to El Rushbo, right? You can tell how effective he was by how much hate he got.
Yep.
I mean,
how much he generated too, because he generated a lot too. That's what I'm talking about. The culture he generated hate, because I was part of that culture.
What do you mean by that? Generated hate? How did he generate?
He generated a conservative bias that's they are split off from the rest of the country. They have no idea what's going on with the rest of the world. It's like there's all kinds of examples, but he cordoned people off, his followers, so they could be those Republicans. He created Trump, really, if you want to get down to it. He's the one that made it possible for a person like Trump to even be elected.
Well, we can. All right, so I'm gonna.
Now that's a whole other debate, I know.
I'm gonna sweep that aside.
And I don't feel ill of the guy. I mean, the guy did his thing and all that. Everybody, a lot of people love him.
No, what Rush did was articulate again. Your comparison to Howard Stern in some ways is apt. Because what Rush did was articulate what we were all thinking. We just couldn't put it into words.
Right.
Okay, so.
But that doesn't mean you were thinking right, nor was it his words right. What I'm saying is that you found.
Well, now wait a minute. Wait. What do you mean right?
I don't think that I don't think what Rush was playing was not what he should have been playing if he really wanted to make America better.
Why not? Why wouldn't putting voice to what a good half of the country is thinking be good for the country?
The 49%.
So what? So it's the 49%. Does the 49% not matter?
They do matter, but they're soon going to be the 40%, and then the 35%. Because the way they think, and I'm including lots of folks in there, I know, the way they think is a problem. They can't make the United States.
Why is it a problem?
The United States is not going to go forward with that type of thinking.
Why not? The United States has gone amazingly forward with that type of thinking since 1776.
No, well, we're in a different place now. You know that.
We're in a different place, so we have to stop. Okay. All right. So
why do we have flat earthers? Come on. Why do we have people like flat earthers in the United States? Why do we have people with QAnon?
Okay. So
people?
All right.
Why do we have these people living among us?
So
it's not one or two.
Okay. So let me just ask you this point blank. You're equating those who want to see the country continue forward as founded to flat earthers. So if I want to remain loyal to the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, I'm basically just a flat earther. That time's passed.
I think you're taking it to a whole nother level. What I'm saying is that people don't believe in math and science. They don't believe what's going on in medicine around the world. They don't believe in all these other things. They have this focus. It's like I gave you the analogy a little while ago about the parent that looks out the window and says, how come my kid school is closed? My street is clear. You know, they're not thinking about the rest of what's going on in the world, not thinking about even what's going on in the city.
Well, sure,
right?
but
they need to open up their view and be part of civilization, not just
so you're
close up and try to be that.
Right. So you're talking about you're advocating a globalist position, is what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Where a globalist position where our best example of how to incorporate into this globalism is China, right? That's the idea.
No. Why do you always want to bring up China? No, I think
China's
EU. I think there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's good examples out there that are doing quite well.
Right, like who? Like who should we be following?
Well, the EU or China, either one. There you go.
Okay, so globalize and get on board with what the EU and China is doing, irrespective of how this country was founded. Never mind that.
I'm not saying change all the laws.
I'm not saying change all the laws either. No. But in order for us to be anything like the EU or China or anything else, you've got to seriously curtail the First Amendment. Period. End of story. That's gone. You've got.
What do you think? The people of the rest of the world can't speak their mind?
They can speak their mind at a price.
So in the EU, you don't think that they can speak their mind in the EU?
A man was arrested in the UK because he had his dog do a Heil Hitler video. He was arrested for that for hate speech.
Amen.
That's an example of what I'm talking about.
How many people need to be arrested here that do Heil Hitler videos?
None.
Absolutely any of those on the internet?
None.
And none.
No,
all the Hitler people should be okay.
Yep, absolutely. They should be. Okay. This is what the ACLU used to be about.
Okay.
Right? Remember Skokie?
Yeah.
Okay. What did the ACLU do in Skokie?
Mm-hmm. They had them go out there. We get it every year here. We have the KKK put across downtown.
So do you want to become like continental Europe or even the UK, where if you did so, especially in Germany, if you did something like that, you're in jail. You're going to jail.
So you'd have to show me the citation about that, but I don't know.
No, there was a one.
And how come these people are much happier in their lives? How come they have more vacation?
Well, now you're talking. No. You're talking.
They have all these other things that we don't have. But we're supposed to be the best country in the world.
Okay, what?
You know what? They're laughing at us. They look at this Texas disaster and they go, "Oh my gosh, we're supposed to be the richest country in the world, and they can't even keep the power on." And then when they can't keep the power on, they got all these frozen pipes that are rolling water through apartment buildings and stuff that they're showing on the news. I'm watching the Chinese television in there, and they're just laughing at how silly we can't even control our own environment, where we live, let alone we're supposed to be the most powerful. We're supposed to have control of the banking around the world. We're supposed to be the military powerhouse that makes everybody be good. We're the sheriff in town. We're losing our credibility 100% because we can't even take care of our own because we don't put the effort into it. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you way out there. And I'll throw you a sanction one too. What are sanctions?
No, hold on.
Sanctions are control.
No, hold on. I'm just so baffled by what you're saying. So I'm just trying to get my mind around this again. We have got people beating down the door, doing all kinds of insane. Yeah, all kinds of insane things to get into our country.
They're beating down the door to get in the EU too.
And we are the most. If you want to come to a place where the chances of you prospering, I'm talking about materially, you having the most freedom, where are you gonna go? All right.
Well, you know what?
They can laugh at us all they want. But what they're laughing at is freedom.
You know
What
what?
they're
The
laughing
United
at.
States doesn't even place in the top 10 on the freedom scale anymore. Not even close.
Who
So you
who
got to
has
go out
more?
and look.
Yeah, who has more freedom than the United States?
Pretty much everybody. New Zealand, Australia,
No,
all
they
of
don't.
Western Europe.
No, they don't.
Sure they do.
No, they don't. No, because if I went to New Zealand and organized a militant march,
I think what you need to do is define freedom.
freedom,
Freedom isn't just
freedom.
doing
I
things
I
you
would
want to
define
do.
freedom by the First Amendment. I define freedom by the First Amendment.
Well,
Maybe you
probably
should.
the
Maybe you
Second
should define
Amendment.
freedom.
Well, you know what? I wish we were going to go on this topic, and I would have brought a definition for it. I think we'll have to carry this topic on because we seem to go back here quite often, you know. And I think we need to drive this one to the ground, and I'll get some facts and maybe even a couple of slides I'll send you.
Well, no, but
you know.
that's okay. So here, all right. So let me articulate to you what I think your vision of freedom is. Your vision of freedom is nobody has to worry about their health care. Nobody has to worry about having a house. Nobody has to worry about having a job. And yeah,
There
that'd be,
is no place like that.
okay.
I mean, the people in Western Europe or
that's
China, they
the
still
pursuit.
work.
No,
They have to earn their homes.
no. But at the end of the day, that's the pursuit. That's the pursuit. That's what you're shooting for. You don't want anybody to worry about health care, right?
No, I think that you know,
It's
now it's a phony thing.
Healthcare is a universal human right, right? That's what you believe.
It is a human
Okay.
right.
Education, universal human right.
Absolutely.
Housing, universal human right.
No, you gotta go out there and earn it. Well, basics.
No,
let's say, okay?
I'm whatever.
Why do we have homeless people in America? Really? You tell me. Why do we have people living in their cars in America?
Two main.
Because they're all lazy.
No, two main reasons. They're insane or they're addicts.
They're all mentally unhealthy, and they're all lazy.
No, I'm not saying lazy. I'm saying mental health
We got people
and
working
drug addiction.
that work a 9-to-5 job and still have to live in their car because they can't
I'm sure
afford
that's
a car.
true, but
Okay.
by and large, the homeless population in the United States falls into two categories:
Mhm.
mental health, drug addiction, alcohol addiction.
I believe there's many people that fall into those categories.
No. This is where I've got the data on my side. It's not even close.
Okay. All
The
right.
overwhelming majority of the homeless are mentally ill or they have addictions. That's it. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close. Okay. So if you want to attack those problems, then that's the front of attack. Okay. So
how do we attack those problems? Why do we still have homeless?
uh
You know, everybody says we got homeless vets. Why should we give to the immigrants if we still got homeless
Okay, so
vets? Why do we have homeless
Okay.
vets? They're the best in the army. They're trained.
The question.
throughout
Okay,
their
so
whole
right.
career.
So we agree on the problem. We have a homeless problem. We agree at that.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the solution? Is it a governmental?
I'm asking.
Is it a governmental problem? Or is it a
I don't know.
Or is it a private sector problem? Or is it a combination of both? What's the solution to
Well,
that?
private sector is not going to afford it because it's a capitalist society, like your shirt, and there's no money to be made, so they're not going to do it.
No.
And it's not a benevolence thing either, because if it was, all of our churches would have fixed this a century ago. We wouldn't have any more homeless. You know.
Well, no.
So it's not about benevolence. It's not about
because when you have a mental illness or an addiction, you would rather freeze your ass off in the street and have your fix than have a home. Okay.
right.
So maybe, you know, I could get behind a government program to say, hey, let's just start building rehab centers all over the place. Start gathering up let's start right there. Let's build all these homeless shelters for addicts all over the place and get these people.
Sounds like socialism to me. Come on.
What's
now.
that?
Sounds like socialism to me.
Well,
Then you're going to
So
stay there or
you
whatever.
want?
You're going to make them weaker.
Okay,
So what are
so
you gonna
my.
do? Hey, I'm a homeless drug addict. I don't want your problem. I don't want you to do anything for
Okay,
me.
so
Hmm.
we
Okay.
do. I mean, so say for instance, there would. I mean,
Well, you just said the word choice. Be careful now about making choices. Anyway, go on.
well, say for instance, we somehow came up with this brilliant infrastructure of rehab centers for drug addicts, and it was just amazing. You would still have people on the street that would be like, "Nope, I don't want that. I'm just going to be a drug addict."
But if somebody finds them on the street and they're passed out, we'd have a place to put them if they could
Sure. Uh,
try to recover.
you know what
So let me say that.
you know what the problem the problem with most homeless shelters in the United States is? Most of their rooms are vacant.
I don't believe that.
That's a well-known fact.
Yeah.
That's a well-known fact. I mean, even in places like L.A. and San Francisco, there are plenty of shelters.
We're going to talk this one again.
Okay.
But I'm going to get some facts for you, and like L.A. and stuff, and San Francisco. I mean, maybe even Fort Wayne. Well, I'll try to pick on something close to home so I can get some numbers.
Fort Wayne is actually we just built a mission right downtown, and I've talked to some.
Nobody's.
Now I wouldn't say nobody. There's plenty of folks there. But what's funny about the homeless in Fort Wayne is, oh man, are they dressed well? The panhandlers in Fort Wayne are dressed head to toe in Carhartt gear. At this time of year,
keep them warm.
Yeah, keep them warm, and
that's right.
And that's what they do. And I don't know. I have to go back and look. I saw this at some point. Some astonishing. I mean, somebody dying of exposure in Fort Wayne is unheard of. Unheard of.
Good.
Yeah. So
one of my high school buddies died of exposure in Rockford, Illinois, a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found his body in a stairwell of a parking garage downtown.
Right.
He was homeless.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
I want to just kind of put a pin in this a little
sure.
bit. We got probably things to talk about, but with universal health care, those homeless people you're talking about with drug addictions and mental illness will be able to get the help they need.
Well, and I think the help they need is available. Okay, so again, we're talking about a different vision of freedom. My vision of freedom again is the First Amendment backed up by the Second Amendment. I mean the rest of the amendments are kind of they're there. Yep. But those two, that's my vision of freedom. Which means ultimately individual responsibility. That's where we're going to place the load. You want to make it? It's up to you. It's up to you.
But that's not how all people are wired. You and I are wired that way. We get up, we go to work every day. We got this whole drive.
But we got to get. But that's.
Do it for our family.
But the point is that our culture, my vision of freedom is that okay, you come here, you're not wired to the First and Second Amendment, and the pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do this thing, type of mentality. Then you need to become. You need to become acclimated to our culture. That's how our culture is here.
Oh, so they should be Uyghurs and be acclimated to your culture. Anyway, what I'm getting at is there's people that actually think different than you. And you have to, in your culture, you have to open your culture to include all people. Because it's the United States.
Okay, so no. You cannot.
Inclusive culture.
So here's where I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm a racist. I'm sure I'm a white supremacist. You cannot open your culture to all ideologies. You cannot do that.
You open up to the ideologies that we have here in the United States now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people that don't like to work, that are satisfied with not having much, or they like to just travel, or they live in their camper van. There's all kinds of people that do their own thing, right? There's other people that play the stock market all day and make millions. I mean, all those opportunities are available here in the United States. But but when it comes to some of the big problems like homelessness, you said I don't really believe this, but you said that it's all people that are either well, you said
I
they're
wouldn't say
sick, they're
all, the
mentally ill,
overwhelming majority.
overwhelming majority, they're mentally ill, or else they're on drugs, or they have some kind of drug problem,
They have an
addiction
addiction
problem.
problem. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we solve that? We solve that by giving them the care that they need. You already talked about treatment centers. You can't just throw an apartment at a drug addict and say, "Good luck, figure it out."
Right.
I mean, you've got to actually give them some
Yeah.
help. So that's why you
I
have to have
would.
universal health
That.
care
So you see.
for everybody.
So you want me to take? Yeah. Let me take my. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
Well,
be.
you know,
Listen.
capitalism.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Ask the
Listen.
people of Texas how their electricity works.
Listen.
I'm going to use you know that.
Listen.
I'm listening.
I'll take my capitalist off for a second, and I'll be socialist. I would be
Okay.
100% for the government investing in a bunch of drug rehab centers. 100%.
Mhm.
I'd be all for that. That's as socialist as it gets. I would be more than glad.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
That's not as far as we need to go, but anyway.
Well, okay, but if Biden came out and said we've got an opioid epidemic going on in this country that is just killing us. It's just killing us. It's killing our kids. I mean, you know.
We had that going with Obama. How come it didn't get fixed with Trump?
Okay. Well, I don't know, because Trump's a jackass and he's stupid. He can't get jack shit fixed. Whatever. I don't know. But if Biden came out, and said, I've got a comprehensive plan to put together drug rehab facilities, and this is how it's going to go. He came up with this great plan. And by the way, guess what? We've got to raise your taxes 5%, so we can cover the futures. I'd be like, I'm on board. I'd be on board with that. Yeah. So, well, all right. So we'll see. But again, that's right. So my vision of freedom. I think our visions of freedom are different. I think fundamentally, for the most part, hey, there's all this opportunity here. What do you want? It's up to you.
Right.
How hard do you want to work for it?
Saying in other places too, you know. I mean, in China it's the same way. You can go to any school you want. You can go to work any place you want. You're free to come and go as you want. You know, Chinese people travel a lot all around the world. They still go home every time. I mean, that's freedom. So I'm going to get that definition of freedom, and I'm going to show you where America goes on the freedom scale, because we got some other big problems. You know, why do we have the most, and this isn't by a long shot, the most incarcerated per capita of any country in the world? It's just we just got those bad people. Why do we have so many bad people?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's an important question.
Horrible people. You know what? They're people that don't follow that narrow culture that you want to maintain.
Yeah, well, and that's what the laws are for, is to conform us to this type. Okay, this is our vision of freedom.
Yeah.
All right. And the laws should be things that firm that up. That
okay.
So
do you think that people in other countries, they don't have this freedom, but they don't go to jail for the same things that our guys go to jail that are free? So I'm confused. Maybe I confused you too with that sentence, because I confused myself. But anyway, you hear what I'm saying is that other people don't have as many people incarcerated, but they don't have any of those. But we've got freedoms, and only our laws support those freedoms. But we've got the most people incarcerated. It's like
okay. So all right,
it's like going backwards.
Yeah. All right. So to dial this back, I mean, here, you know, biggest Reagan fan ever. Adored the man. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Wept when he died. A little bit like I did when Rush Limbaugh died. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Reagan's war on drugs was one of the biggest law enforcement mistakes ever made. Ever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
1994 crime bill had some elements. Still, in my opinion, largely mistake. Some bad moves on policymakers. Now let's not pretend like this was all, Nancy Reagan, say no to drugs. But
that was 25, 30 years ago. We're beyond that now.
No,
right?
we're not beyond. No, we're not even. Oh my gosh, we're so far not beyond that.
Right.
I mean, the drug situation in the United States is so fucked up. I mean, it makes the situation with prohibition look like child's play. Like it
was a party. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're just playing with some blocks and having some fun in the park. Yeah. That's what the drug situation right now in the United States makes prohibition look like.
Anybody that can get drugs. That's it, right?
What's that?
Anybody that wants drugs right now can get drugs.
That's pretty much true. And so, yeah. But the major problem with the incarceration situation is not that, okay, Isaac gets picked up for doing blow, and he gets 2 years.
He won't get 2 years.
Well, okay. But
he's a handsome white gentleman with blonde hair. He won't get 2 years. Go on.
You might be surprised. I might have some stories for you there too.
Okay.
And he's kind of ugly too. He really is. He's kind of lanky.
Really?
Yeah, he is. He's tall. He's friggin' 6 foot.
I think that's the cute part.
He's friggin' 6'4".
I know.
He's
leaning on top of your head, put his elbow on you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh yeah. He comes up behind me and pops me on the head. He's I don't think he's as good looking as I am, but he's definitely taller. Anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, if I were king for a day, I would release every person in jail that's been caught on just a simple possession charge. Period. End of story. I'm not talking about possession with intent. I mean, even if I had a kilo of coke, right? Obviously, you're going to distribute. Don't care. You're out of here. You got caught in possession, you're out of here. The problem with it is that the overwhelming majority of those who are incarcerated for violent crimes that are related to drugs. Drug deal went bad. I need my drugs. I got to go rob a liquor store. What?
Somebody got off.
Yep. Okay. They're violent crimes that are directly related to drug use, drug distribution, etc., etc. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's where.
Kind of thing that are there on $50 bond or $300 bond or something like that. Should we keep those people in there too? 30 days till they get a court date.
It depends on what the charge is. I mean, if a guy held up a liquor store.
Well, just leave the drug one going. Yeah, we've got possession or something like that.
Possession, right? But that's a tiny fraction of anybody that's in jail right now. Anybody. I mean,
I believe a lot of them are.
No. Yeah, there you go. There's another fact check you can do. I'm
writing it down.
Rest assured that the amount of people who are being held in jail right now for simple possession, and again, I would even say possession with intent to distribute.
Mm-hmm.
That's a minority of the people that look up the federal numbers only.
Look up the entire.
You got to look up the state numbers. That because violent crimes are state offenses. Most violent crimes are not federal offenses.
So what about shoplifting? Should people go to jail for shoplifting and wait till their court date?
Well, okay. Well, I don't know about that, but
On their 10th offense or something.
no. Shoplift. I'm not sure shoplifting is considered a violent crime.
No, not.
Okay, so we're talking about again. Check your statistics. The overwhelming majority of people incarcerated in the United States are incarcerated for violent crimes. That
So
means
then
that means armed robbery, murder, assault, rape, etc., etc. You know what violent crimes are. That
Yeah, absolutely.
the overwhelming majority of people incarcerated in the United States are in jail because of those charges. They've been found
Okay.
guilty of a violent crime. That's it.
So then my big question is, if we have that many violent crime prisoners per capita, why doesn't the rest of the world too? Why do we have such horrible people here in the United States?
Okay, well, that jeez, that's a huge question.
Well, I mean, I watch Taiwan television, and they're talking about a car accident and this is a national news, right? For their national news of 25, 30 million, something like that, right? And they're talking about car accidents on there. They have a murder, I don't know, maybe 50 murders a year in the whole nation.
Okay, so here, all right, here's
people.
all right.
Why do we have so many murders, and why
So
do we?
let
If
me-
we have
let me-
this system,
Right. All right. So let me hypothesize.
okay,
One reason I am speculating as to why we have more violent crime in the United States is because we have a lot of prosperity. So I'm a poor black kid in the ghetto. I see Whitey out there, making all this money, and why don't I have some? And old boy rolls up in his Cadillac and says, I can show you how to make some. It's like you can either keep going back to your little pitiful high school here that the teachers won't even show up to now because, they're too scared of getting sick.
but we have these same classes all across the world. All these places. If you look at India, you look at China, you look at
No,
we-
you have these classes,
you got rich
and
people.
you have these classes in the United States. And again, this is you have these
well, and they
classes,
fought it in China because
and-
they all drive Rolls Royces.
right? And you have access to firearms. The United States is the biggest drug market in the world.
You just said something really particular. They have access to firearms. So are you saying that we have so many horrible people because they have access for firearms?
Yeah, because our firearms because of our Second Amendment,
Uh-huh.
our firearms regulations are you just can't, you cannot.
Opportunity, right? It provides an opportunity for all those horrible people to do a dastardly deed.
Yeah, it does.
Where in other countries that don't have firearms or as many, people don't have as much opportunity to do it.
Right.
So if we
that's the trade-off.
didn't have
So
guns,
again, right. So let's talk trade-offs. Let's talk.
wouldn't
So here
have
comes
as
Thomas
many
Sowell. Here
murders.
comes the
we
trade-offs.
wouldn't have the trade-offs. Yeah,
Let's
okay.
talk the
I
trade-offs.
was wondering how you were going to get there.
Yes.
You always end that with
we always have to talk about the trade-offs. Always have to talk about the trade-offs.
Okay, so
Because here's the thing. Yeah. So yes, our Second Amendment is a problem that causes that.
so we lose about 40,000 a year we lose about 40,000 a year guns every year. Some of them are suicide. A majority are actually, like 25 million are suicides. The other 15 million are murders, all that kind of
hold
stuff.
on, time out. How many do we lose a
I'm
year?
sorry, thousand, not millions. 40,000.
40,000. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd have to
Less
check
than
the,
COVID,
I would have to check the
but
statistics
yes,
on
it's
that.
still 40,000.
But I last time I looked at that, the overwhelming majority.
Because we have more people dying of gun violence than we do dying in traffic accidents.
Right. Well, okay. So and again,
Let that
I would
sink in
have
for a
to
second.
revisit the statistics on this, but To the best of my recollection, the overwhelming majority of those are suicides and accidental gun death.
I think there's a small portion accidentals, and I think the suicide is the majority by a little bit.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of murders, and that's why we have a lot of bad people in jail because of the murders.
So, what's the trade-off if let's just abolish the Second Amendment? Nobody gets guns. Everybody turn in your guns. No more guns.
There's more people commit suicide in Asian countries than there are in the United States, but none of them do it by gun.
Yeah, well, you can figure out a way to kill yourself. Killing yourself with
suicide.
Killing yourself with a firearm is way easier. But okay, let's just go. Let's like do the reductio here. Let's reductio adams, or let's take it down to its base level. Let's just abolish the Second Amendment.
Okay, I'm listening.
We abolish this, so we're just like every other country in the world. They don't have the gun rights that we do in the United States. What's the trade-off?
All right.
What's the trade-off?
I think a more peaceful society. I think it's a win.
Okay. And then all of a sudden you go, okay, so the citizenry does not have any weapons.
Right.
There's no guns. The only people that have the guns are the government.
Right.
Okay. And they go, okay, well, hey, you white people that have created this horrible, abominable, decadent, terrible place built on the back of slaves and murdered Native Americans. If you don't turn yourselves in with the next 48 hours, we will come arrest you.
Sure. And
put you in re-education camps to be executed at some future date. What's our recourse?
No recourse.
No recourse. Not without guns.
But Japan doesn't have that problem.
Oh yeah, Japan. No.
China
Of course, Japan doesn't have that problem. Of course, Japan doesn't have that problem because they are not the United States. The United States is the most diverse. That's the thing that I don't think sometimes you get your mind around. Is what we are doing here has never been attempted in human history. We're trying to get all these cultures to live together. All right? Now, the thing I think you forget about government is at the end of the day, anything the government does is at the point of a gun. And you cannot.
No. I think
How can you defend that? Because if I choose, Jeff, hold on. No. Let me finish this point. If I choose not to pay, if Biden is able to repeal the Hyde Amendment, and now my tax dollars are going toward abortion, and I say, okay, fuck that shit, I'm done with this, I'm not paying my taxes anymore, you know what's going to happen? They're going to come arrest me. They're going to come arrest me. Yep. Sure. And you know what's going to happen? Then I'm going to try to escape jail to get back to my family, and what are they going to do when I escape jail? And I won't stop.
They're going
to shoot me in the head. They're going to. At the end of the day, me paying taxes only happens at the end of a gun. That's the only way it happens. No, that's the only way it happens. Jeff, you know this.
Let me give you another scenario because you're not comparing and contrasting at all. Okay. Western Europe doesn't have guns all over the place. It's a huge melting pot of all different cultures, different languages, and everything else. In fact, they do have people trying to get to Western Europe, crossing the Mediterranean on flimsy boats and rafts and all kinds of things, similar to our border. They have the same situation happening, but they don't have the problems we've got. How is that?
See, now, all right.
How is that? How can they not have all the people, those bad people?
But you're dodging the question.
I'm not dodging a question.
What you're talking about is you think that if we abolish the Second Amendment, everything would be peaceful and happy and wonderful. All right. What you do when you abolish the Second Amendment is you say, okay, you know what? Government, you have absolute power. Now, what do you think happens when somebody has absolute power?
Well, they control you. You have to do what they
Yeah,
say.
and yep, you have to do what they say.
But
And
don't they already
you,
have absolute
and
power?
do you think that power is going to remain pure as the driven snow? They're going to be so altruistic with their absolute power.
Europe's doing pretty well right now.
Well, nobody has absolute power right now, but I am convinced that Lord Acton was right. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
When you abolish the second, so that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of freedom. When you abolish the Second Amendment, what you've done is you've given absolute power to the government, and I think that is a very dangerous.
I don't understand why you're scared of your own culture. Why you have to carry a weapon? I don't understand.
No. I'm not scared of my own culture. I'm scared of my government. I've always been scared of my government. Because all my government has ever done.
But your government is your elected officials. They represent you.
No, right, and that's why
you vote for them.
Right, and
right,
and that's why Senator Cruz is my boy, right? Because Senator Cruz doesn't try to get anything done in government. Senator Cruz obstructs the grinding, oppressive power of government over me. That's what he does.
Okay.
So,
all right.
so what Senator? So what's?
Right. Well,
so in my estimation, Senator Cruz is standing between me and the government gun, which is great. Because the last fucking thing I want to do is have to blow away some guys that come to my house when my son says that he's transsexual, and I say no, he's not transsexual.
Oh, you're going off on crazy tangents.
Yeah,
anyway.
crazy
so we've
tangents.
got a lot of tangents.
But look what
we've got a lot of tangents.
Yeah, you talk about crazy tangents, but you start giving people absolute power where you have no recourse to defend yourself against that absolute power. I mean, look, this is all very simple. My political philosophy is very simple. Whoever holds the gun wins. And the thing of it is, what is great about the American system is that the Constitution affords us for the citizenry to hold guns. That's what keeps the balance of power, ultimately, right?
Right.
So now,
the
trade-off. So in my mind, the trade-off is to abolishing the Second Amendment in order to have this peace and prosperity where we don't have gang violence and stuff in the streets and da-da-da-da-da-da. What you trade that for is you've got complete authoritarian, tyrannical control from top down. That's what you're trading.
So, no, you're not trading that because you know what? You lost power a long time ago with the government. Your shotgun is not going to blast the drone out of the air. The drone is going to take you out. Okay. There's no way that you're going to fight anything to do with the government.
So
the only thing your gun will save you from is
wait,
let me finish. The only thing is your gun is going to save you from, and that's going to be your pistol, your encounter at the truck stop when somebody's trying to take your money. That's the only thing it's going to save you from. Okay. And the only reason he has a pistol is because you got one. We've escalated the whole thing. If you go to Europe, big melting pot. You go to London now, you'd think you'd find a bunch of Englishmen. No. Most people, a lot of people, I won't say most, a lot of people in London, brown skin, they speak different languages. They live there, they're English, Then they speak English with an English accent, but they also speak Indian or maybe they're Arab or there's all kinds of things going on, right? We have a melting pot here. They do too. They don't have the same problems we have.
No, right, and
okay?
we don't have the same problems they have because at any moment, any government, basically in Western Europe, could just decide, hey, we're in charge from now on, and that's it.
Right.
And the citizenry would have no recourse. Now, here's the thing, Jeff. You're talking about superiority of arms. Right? And so if I am convinced that what the Second Amendment affords us, and now why we might not be able to outgun the drones and the military, what the thing of it is, you have to kill me.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Okay? If you want me to conform to your thing, which I disagree with, you're gonna have to send your drone. And you're gonna have to kill me. That's the deal.
So if,
Right? I've got my shotgun here. I've got my pistol here, and I'll shoot whoever I can to get away with it.
right.
At the end of the day, I know I'm gonna get shot, and you guys are gonna have to be the one that's gonna kill me. You're gonna have to spill my blood in the street.
Will win anyway, because just like Afghanistan or something, you got all these guys, I believe their guns, their small arms, whatever, would be the same way as the Afghanis or the Taliban or whatever. It's no way to win a war. You can't win a war. You can't fight in submission.
Yeah, and so and again,
war is outdated completely. It's not going to happen. Although I'm surprised you.
But the thing of it is, Jeff, if need be, it has to happen. The only way you enforce law at the end of the day is through the barrel of a gun. Every law you make, every regulation that's out there. If I would so I'm out of hours now. I don't have any more. I can't drive anymore this week. So if I jumped in my truck and said, "Oh, screw you guys, I'm going to go deliver this load of steel up to Michigan," and the police started to pull me over, and I said, "Nope, I'm not pulling over. I'm going to keep going. Screw you guys. I'm going to drive this up."
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
But you're escalating. You're escalating.
Oh yeah. No doubt about it. I'm escalating. I'm going to keep.
You're going to keep escalating.
Right.
Because you come to that.
But at the end,
how far they'll go.
No, but at the end of the day, what is it that they're going to use to enforce the hours of service on me? Their guns. 100%. Because if I keep going,
what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull over and take the ticket.
Well, no. What? Pull over and take the ticket? Okay, I could acquiesce to that, but at the same time,
yeah.
those officers have firearms on their sides. So if I pull over, they give me a ticket, and I tell them, "Fuck you! I'm not taking this ticket. I'm going to get my truck and keep driving. You're not going to shut me down." Okay, that's my choice. Yep. But how are they going to enforce that law at the end of a gun? At the end of a gun.
They're going to do what they have to do. That's right.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm. And that is the same thing for every law.
If you keep escalating
every law, every regulation, at the end of the day, the only way to enforce it, the only real rock bottom way to enforce it is at the end of the gun. That's what I think you libs miss.
You know what? You're chasing the wrong thing, because what you just told me is that you shouldn't comply.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't comply. What I'm talking about, the reason I give that extreme example is because
if you
don't comply, what is the recourse of those officers, right? And I'm all about law enforcement. I love law enforcement. But the point being is, if you don't comply, what's their recourse? To kill you. That's it. Yeah, that's the baseline bottom issue. With every government, every law, every regulation, everything else that is in place that governs how we live here, at the end of the day, what undergirds that is the gun. That's it. That's it, and that's all.
So what you're saying is that all the other countries in the world comply, but we don't, and that's why we get a lot of people killed, we get a lot of people in prison. It's all those things because we have all those freedoms. To not comply.
I don't think that's well.
All right, we're gonna have to call the break here pretty soon, man.
All right. Oh yeah. No, let's take a break. Yeah, because I need a drink. So let's take a maybe 5-minute or so break.
Take 5 or 10. We'll come back and chat for a couple of minutes.
All right. Sounds good. Yep.
See you in a little bit. Do you have any local breweries up there? And
Oh yeah, yeah, we got several. Yeah, there's
you drink that local stuff?
well, this Voodoo is New Belgium, so that's out of Denver.
Right.
They just make the most, in my opinion, the best tasting for you folks out there. Voodoo Ranger IPA.
Voodoo Ranch,
Yeah,
good
they
stuff.
they make they make the most economical, best tasting IPA. So it's the poor man's IPA basically. Is what I drink. Now, we get one of the well, not one of the best IPA I've ever had is in my opinion, is brewed here in Fort Wayne by a brewery called Mad Anthony's. So that's what Fort Wayne is named for. General Anthony Wayne, he was known for riding hard into battle and being a madman and so forth. So Fort Wayne is named after Anthony Wayne, and he was called Mad Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this brewery is named after Mad Anthony, and they make this this IPA called Mosaic Moon, which is the best IPA I've ever had. But you're gonna pay for it. It's expensive, So you're talking, $15 a six pack, 20, $15 a six pack, $12 a growler. I'll go down there. I mean, it's just right around the corner from us, but I'll go down there and get Mosaic Moon. But the thing of it is, we have events at our church. We play darts and have different events and book clubs and blah blah. Well, we have 2 kegerators with 3 taps in our church's basement, or what you would think.
That's the kind of, like,
Yeah. So we always have that IPA on tap, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, it's, out of the tap, it's the best.
Yeah.
So so yeah. Incidentally, that's why you guys, as soon as you guys get your shots, you should come up here, and
I'll make it up.
yeah, because I'll take you to one of our book clubs or dart event or whatever. We have a bunch of stuff at church, and we always have the taps open, and it's great. So
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds fun. I can't wait to get that shot.
Yeah.
Just not quite old enough yet.
Oh, your Uncle Keith and Aunt Joy got it.
Did they? Good.
Yep. They're all set.
They got both shots already?
They got both shots. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sent him a message the other day, just kind of check on him, because, we shoot back and forth on Facebook, mostly political stuff, kind of like you and I.
Right.
But, I just want to make sure they're okay, with all the stuff going on in Texas. It's a tough time down
Oh
there.
no. I've been checking on him, in on him daily. I mean, stuff in Bay City's pretty chill. I mean, they're still 2 hours south of Houston, so they're not dealing with the Houston drama. Thank God.
But they were still out of electricity, right? They didn't have any electricity.
No. Nobody got. Where they live, south of Houston, electricity was never a problem. Water was never a problem.
Good.
All those problems exist in Houston. That's where
Well, Houston and Dallas and Austin and north of Bay City.
I don't know. Houston's the major problem with, but they're. Well, I mean, it's going to be 70 on Monday down there, for pity's sakes.
Be gone. It's supposed to be 40 over here. Sunday?
I know. It's supposed to warm up.
We got 40s all next week, so we'll get rid of our snow. I had to trudge out to the barn today and wading through 6-8 inches of snow. No bueno.
I hear you. No, I don't like that. Well, that's the thing is, I've had the first snow day this past week since I've been up here in the Midwest. I used to get snow days maybe once a year when I was driving up in the Northeast, because they would just shut everything down. But I got a snow day, because they shut down my county and all the surrounding counties. I couldn't move, so which was fine because moving around in this nonsense is yeah.
I didn't go.
You might as well stay home.
Yep, I work from home. I stay home. We go to them since we haven't got our shots yet. I'm not old enough. Missed it by a couple of years, and then so we don't go anywhere. We go to the grocery. That's about it.
Yeah.
Might go through the drive-through at some place, you know, but mostly just go to the grocery and come home.
Well, have you seen the stats on infections the past 6 weeks?
They've gone way down.
Yeah,
it's looking a lot better.
76%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something.
The deaths starting to go down.
Yeah. So yes, something positive is happening. Hopefully. So.
Well, it's good Biden's in there to lead the charge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Biden's made all this happen for sure.
Well, yes. I mean, remember when Trump didn't even have he wasn't even inaugurated, and everybody was talking about how he'd made the stock market jump and everything. Now the stock market's jumping even higher, and man, crypto's going crazy. And then getting the shots instead of 1 million a day, we're getting 1.7 million a day. I mean, yeah, he's doing a good job. Pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I wonder how come Jen Hot Mess Psaki or Saki? What's her name? Jen Saki. What's her name? Saki Jen. Yeah, Hot Mess Saki. Right. You know how you go to. Right, you know how you go to the Japanese restaurants and you get the hot sake? Yeah, she's Jen Hot Mess Sake. It might be. So how come she hasn't been bragging about this 1.7 million? I haven't heard this statistic yet because I listened to the press conference every day. She hasn't said anything about 1.7 million being vaccinated.
I missed the press. Yeah, I missed the press conference the last couple of days. Fauci on there, they said there was a 1.7 a day, and then because of this big snow thing, they've had some transportation issues, so they're going to be back a little bit. They didn't give a number how far back. I don't know. Maybe if they go back to 1 million again for a few.
I wonder why Amazon didn't volunteer their logistics infrastructure to distribute the vaccinations when Trump was. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, maybe because Trump had already made an enemy of Bezos, right?
So is it kind of a revenge thing?
I don't know.
At the expense of
maybe Trump didn't want to.
People.
Maybe it was a Trump thing that he didn't want to have Amazon in because he hated Bezos and the Washington Post. You tell me.
Could be.
Hard
to say.
I don't think Bezos. But I'll tell you what: if they would have put a nurse in every Amazon truck, they could have vaccinated the whole country in about a day.
That's true.
But I think your house is like mine. We get Amazon a few days a week, right?
So have you? All right. So here's have you? So you got Netflix. Have you watched Black Mirror?
Yeah, I watched some of them. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember that Black Mirror where the drones were just delivering goods to people and they were?
I haven't seen them all.
Okay.
So no, I don't
you
recall.
Should go back and check that out. That was genuinely frightening. Because it reminded me of okay. Because that was the thing. Everything was on automatic fulfillment. So these drones were just dropping off, and it was completely dystopian, right? Even though you were getting all this stuff you quote needed, or they thought you wanted, and everything was automated, and there was this universal basic income, and it was.
You used to. Hey, don't you have your Amazon stuff on automatic already?
No.
I mean, like.
No, Lord have mercy, no. No, I am.
I know some laundry detergent and stuff.
For being online, I am as off the grid as I possibly can be. I've got VPNs. I've got all kinds of security stuff up. I have a private email. All this stuff. I don't screw around with that stuff. I just don't.
You don't buy on Amazon?
I do buy on Amazon.
So you have to.
But the thing of it is,
use your credit.
Here's the thing is, so for instance, when you pull up Amazon, it's going to give you, here's what you've bought in the past, and here's what we think you'd be interested in. Every time I pull up Amazon, it's just completely random nonsense.
Okay.
Because
so you just go in as You don't have an account.
No, I have
You
an
only
account.
just
No,
buy one item.
I'm an Amazon Prime member, but
Okay.
I have a VPN. So
But
every time I come in, it's like, oh,
I
I'm
see.
a new guy. They're like the logarithms don't know what to do with me. They just throw all the
Yeah, you don't get the pollination like between Amazon and eBay and all the others
right.
like I do.
I mean they might throw stuff at. I mean they're gonna throw stuff at me with my past purchases. Okay, sure, fine. That's not a problem because there's a pair of gloves I buy off of Amazon. You know, every 6 months or so. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, where's that glove again? Okay, I'm gonna buy those gloves. Yeah, okay, fine. That's not a problem. But for the most part, it's just a hot mess when I go onto Amazon. I have to look up what if I'm looking for something, I have to look it up.
Oh, I like convenience. It tells me it already knows it anticipates what I want before I even get there.
Did you?
And then I get three from them too, telling me it's already available.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Social Media Trap?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was.
I'm there. I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm there. You know, the weirdest thing is though, you know, I lived outside the country for so long, but I still maintained a residence here, and I still maintained some banking. I had a couple of credit cards, had like a checking account and stuff, you know, so I could pay my bills here, you know, for the house and stuff like that. But I was gone for 15 years. So I mean, it just snuck up on me. I went out for a 1-year contract and I was gone for 15 years. And I come back, couldn't get a loan. This was 5 years ago. I couldn't get a loan. I couldn't get anything. And I had to sit down with my banker and tell them the situation. They said, you don't compute. You don't exist to all these systems.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I said, how will I do this? How am I going to get? And it took about a year and a half. And then I got back into the American culture and swing of things.
Yeah.
But if you really want to drop off the grid, leave the country for about 10 years. And literally, you know, and you know, the weird thing, I still maintain my residency in the other two countries. So I have credit cards and banking there. And anyway, all that stuff. And credit ratings, it's weird. It's like you would be shocked at my email sometime of the weirdness that comes through.
Yeah.
Trying to sell me things and opportunities and yeah, because if you live there, you live, you know, like when I lived in Canada, I lived as a Canadian. I didn't live there as an American bitching about Canada all the time. I lived there as a Canadian and threw stones at the border, you know, that kind of thing, right? Okay. And then same way when I lived in Taiwan or when I lived in mainland China, same thing. I lived there as a Taiwanese or I lived there as a Chinese. So I did banking there. You know, I worked for a Chinese company. I got paid with Chinese money. I paid my Chinese taxes, you know, like a regular Chinese person. Right?
Well, and on top of that, in any of those situations, you weren't readily going out protesting anything that the government was doing.
What do you mean testing?
Well, protesting. So sorry. So
I didn't go out and protest. Well, I didn't have anything to protest. It was a great life. Why would I protest it? There's nothing to protest.
Well, okay. So, well, but let's just.
You don't go out protesting every day, do you? I mean, you live in Fort Wayne. You don't go out protesting every day. It's a great life.
Every time I go live with you on YouTube, I'm protesting.
Oh, okay. I guess we could call this.
Let's not forget my Twitter account got banned for. I mean, I'm nobody.
Oh, that's right.
Like, why the hell? You know. So.
The Alphabet Mafia got you.
It's something. I don't know. Something got screwed up. I'm sure it is. And to my own detriment, I didn't protest it. I just didn't. Anyway,
just go in with a phony name now. They'll never know.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you use VPNs, they'll never know.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I've got all these VPNs going on. Maybe I'll figure it out. But that's the thing. I kind of bring all this back to full circle is, the reason Donald Trump can give a speech on the 6th and it's an incitement to insurrection, and Kamala Harris can say what she did about the protesters, and Maxine Waters can say what she did about that, and Democrat after Democrat after Democrat can talk about fight like hell, you know, we're going to bring a gun, you know, Obama, yeah, all this political. It's, again, I cannot put it more succinctly. Is, you know, if I were an American or even a Chinese citizen working in China, it's like I can do whatever I want, just don't speak against the party.
That's your party.
No.
You know, I thought about this after our last, because you ended it this way last time about don't speak against the party. That's really your party. That's your culture. That's your finite element of the culture that you live in and that you want to live in and you want everybody else to live in. Don't speak against that party.
No. I think that's no, not at all. Because here's the thing: is
I'm protesting.
See, so here's the thing that I always want people to be able to speak against whatever party happens to be in power.
Sure. Right.
So for the Dems to do what they did, you know, they chose, okay, we're going to try to frame and paint Donald Trump as this corrupt, you know, colluder with foreign entities, namely Russia. That's how we're going to speak against the party.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's go back to this before you.
Okay.
Before you go back, you know, we'll talk about being.
Because that was the day the electoral votes were going to be certified, and they believed that the election was fraudulent and stolen. Now I sent you that Time article, which pretty much proves it. That pretty much validates all of those people's concerns that that corporate America and the powers that be colluded together to ensure that that Donald Trump was not reelected. Now, did they do it illegally? Nope. Did it perfectly legally? Nope.
They were there because they were invited. They were invited by President Trump to be there. They were invited a month earlier, 2 months earlier. They made reservations to go there at the invite of President Trump.
Sure.
It didn't just show up one day and start waving flags or anything. It was planned. And it was planned not so that speech that he gave on the 6th wasn't the only part of inciting the violence. Okay? He started before he was elected when he talked about, if the guy got up in the middle of my thing, I'd punch him right in the nose, right? He started those thought patterns from day one, as far as I'm concerned. He wanted to promote violence and violence against the people that don't believe the same way he does or aren't part of that conservative party like he is. Or he said he is. I don't believe he really is.
Well,
anyway.
Okay. So,
and I think
hey, can I ask you a very simple question?
Sure.
Is President Trump is Donald Trump stupid?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So he is a maniacal, calculating individual that planned an insurrection against the United States before he was elected. That's the credit you're giving him.
What I'm doing is he planned that probably back in November-ish, maybe even October, because he'd already said it was going to be the election.
No. Wait a minute. No. You said something about 2015.
No, I'm saying he went back even to 2015. He was already priming his base about doing something.
His base? Who's his base?
His base is the people that go to his rallies.
I've been to his rally. I've been to Donald Trump rally.
You know, people punching. You know, somebody interrupts in a rally. Somebody wants to punch him. All that kind of stuff. He even said at the rally.
That's his base. So no. Wait a minute. What do you? So so you would equate a singular or this that. That's Trump's. Who's Trump's base?
He's
Because
incited. He's incited people throughout his entire presidency. And
incited. Wait a second. Incited who?
the Trumpers.
The Trumpers. Who's the Trumpers? Am I a Trumper? I voted for Trump.
With the pickup trucks.
The guys that. Okay, no. And you think that the people that would do stuff like that are the majority of the 75 million people who voted for him?
I didn't say that. The majority of the 75 million people didn't show up on January 6th, did they? They didn't show up on January 6th. But you had a small minority that he incited.
You had at least tens of thousands, if not 100,000 people.
Yep.
And you've got.
There was not 100,000 people in there.
Okay, you've got at least tens of thousands of people. That's what I said. You got at least tens of thousands. So you're talking about 10, 20,000 people, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 50.
I doubt it. 10, 20, I'll give you.
Okay. Got a couple thousand. You got a couple thousand nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And maybe even not a couple of thousand. Maybe you even have 500 nuts who have planned this in advance, who are going to do something dumb.
Why are they doing it?
Who drew another?
Who incited their violence? Who decided? Who grouped them together? Who? Yeah, I mean, you can't just tell me.
Okay, fine. All right. So then, we should the first opportunity we get once the House of Representatives turns Republican in 2022. Impeachment charges will be brought a bit against Kamala Harris for doing the same thing.
For doing what?
For inciting violence. For inciting insurrection.
There's no insurrection.
There is.
I see posts about Biden. You know, we should impeach him right now. What are you going to impeach him for? What charges are you going to bring?
Insurrection. If you're going to hold.
Insurrection.
So again.
Nobody's showing up to take.
Whoa! Bring all this back down. So it's political propaganda.
No, it's not.
Don't dispute the party, and you'll be fine. Just don't dispute the party.
Right. I'm going to tell you what. If you're in grade school, and you're around poking people and trying to get fights going with gangs and stuff like that, you're inciting them, right? And if a thing really pops off and there's a fight, are you to blame? No. You just run away and say, "Oh, I'm not to blame." No.
Okay.
You're still to blame.
And again, by the same standards, I showed this before even the Trump defense team showed this. Like I said in the outset,
right?
The Democrats, the Dems are just as guilty.
No, they're not.
Oh.
Well, then you can go all the way back to 2015 and say Trump's been guilty and he should have been impeached long before that. He's been. If you want to hold everybody to that same level.
No,
Trump, even before he was president, he should have been impeached because he was already inciting violence in the same way that they do. If you want to hold that as
and that's what I'm that's and again, that's where I'm saying this reduces to the absurd.
No,
political.
I don't think so.
Political. No,
I think the absurd is having Trump as a president.
No, not see. That's
and
where
putting up with his stuff.
All right, so. See, this is where, okay, if we're going to have unity and democracy and unity and unity and unity and unity and unity and unity and democracy and science and democracy and unity and unity and science and democracy, you Dems are going to have to figure out how Trump's base, that's me. I'm Trump's base. I am Trump's base. I just got through telling you that I should have that Senator Cruz that Senator Cruz should have told the whole world to fuck off when he went to Cancun. Right. I'm Trump's base. You're gonna have to figure out how to relate to me and how I think. You're going to have to figure that out.
No, we're not.
Okay.
You know why?
And you're just going
Because
to
the
roll
Republicans,
over us.
they were in
Just
charge.
because you're just going to roll over us. That's what you're going to do.
They're going to do the Republican thing. That's what Republicans have been doing.
Yeah,
for the last...
okay. Oh, yeah. You guys are so much more morally superior
know what?
Trump and the Republicans that you're going to employ the same tactics that he did to roll over your opposition. Okay, so in other words, I don't want my son to be a trans kid, right? And you're going to come to my door and blow me away for that. Okay? So you can't just roll over people. This idea of rolling over people is bullshit, okay? That's the problem I had with Trump. Okay, now he was a reaction to us being rolled over.
Us.
Yeah.
Us.
Yes. Yeah, people with my values. Okay,
No,
Obama rolled over my values.
You can keep your values right at home where you want them.
Oh yeah, but I can't express them in public, and it can't be.
No, I don't want to see them.
Right,
you don't want to see my values. I don't want to see yours. Same thing.
No, we want to see each other's values. All right, what?
No, we don't. We don't.
Okay, that's the thing.
I'm sure there's some values
somebody's gonna have to be steamrolled.
No, you know what? A Democratic Republic.
We don't. No. Yeah. No. Well, you don't. First of all, you don't understand what a. First of all, you don't understand what a Democratic Republic is, and the majority doesn't decide. In a Democratic Republic, the minority is always respected. Majority rules, minority rights.
Really?
Should be that way. That's the way it should be.
Nobody
should be steamrolled.
I would agree.
What's that?
It should be.
Yeah.
I agree. But it's not. And so, U.S. to move forward. We moved forward during Clinton. We moved forward during Obama. And now we're going to move forward during Biden.
Well,
then you can, maybe after that, if, and I'm going to make it a big if, because I don't think there'll ever be a majority of Republicans to be able to take away the presidency ever again.
Well, that's what they said when Obama was elected.
Yep. But now I think that the numbers
now you've got a president who thinks that minorities aren't adept enough to get online to register for COVID vaccines. You didn't hear that in his town hall?
I didn't watch his town hall, but I didn't hear that. I didn't hear it that way.
He talked about how these people in rural and urban communities are the Hispanic and African American folks aren't they just aren't adept enough to get
maybe they're
online.
not. I work with people all the time. I see people all the time that I don't know how they get through a day, to be honest with you.
Well, no, I agree with that.
Okay.
It was just interesting that he characterized these poor folks that weren't adept enough to getting online to register for a COVID vaccine as Hispanic and
That's the
capability
or
that was
even
the thing
the
is
tools.
you've got President Obama.
That means I don't know what the context was, but I'm going to guess the context. Okay, the context was maybe everybody doesn't have the tools, whether they're mental tools or physical tools to get registered. So maybe people need to help them. I'm okay with that. Get out there, make sure that all these seniors in retirement homes and things like that are registered so they get the opportunity to get this vaccine as early as possible.
All right.
Because there's a lot of folks who don't have internet. They don't have fancy phones like me and you.
Sure. The worry is, and I think the divide, I'm not sure if it boils down to this, is that one side fears being steamrolled by the other side.
Sure. I feel steamrolled already. I steamrolled for 4 years.
Okay. Well, and I felt steamrolled for 8 years when Obama was president.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, this is personal, but particularly because I had good health insurance, and I was priced out of that, and I still can't touch health insurance.
It's open right now. They opened up the thing. I've got health insurance.
Okay. All right. Jeff. I'm just telling you. This is personal. It's not statistical. I'm just giving you a personal testimony. Okay. So I felt so, and again, my taxes went up, even though I was a lower middle class worker during those times. Right. So I felt steamrolled by Obama, and then on top of that, the racial bigot, same kind of charges they always threw at Rush. Oh, well, you're just a racist, bigot, misogynist, homophobe. Without any foundation, without any evidence to prove those things. So, yeah, shoot me as much evidence.
Who sings a song like that?
Somebody who does a parody that's supposed to be funny based on an LA Times reporter who called Barack Obama the Magic Negro. Look it up.
Why did he keep saying it? Why did he keep saying it?
Because it was funny. It was
so he
hilarious.
said it once. Why did he keep
Somebody called a New York, an LA Times reporter called Barack Obama the Magic Negro, and somebody did a parody.
I get you.
All right.
So it was funny for you. It wasn't funny for me.
Okay. So fine. It wasn't funny, but it was parody. All right. If you didn't find his parody funny. If I found Flyin Ted hilarious. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did too.
If you didn't, fine. Whatever.
I love the Flyin Ted.
But my point is that you've got to demonstrate to me where a man like Rush Limbaugh hated black people, wanted to see them put down and oppressed.
I don't think he hated black people.
And he hated women. Rush Limbaugh hated women, wanted to see him put down and oppressed.
How many wives?
And Rush Limbaugh hated poor people and wanted to see him put down and oppressed. I mean, you're going to have to provide me some solid evidence of that, because that is what your mainstream media is reporting about Rush Limbaugh, is that he was a bigot, he was a misogynist, he was a homophobe, etc., 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 etc. That's what they're reporting about him, even while the man's in the dirt. That's what they're reporting about him. And they make those assertions, and they provide no evidence to support those claims. And that's what I get sick of. And that's why I'm like, okay, here's the deal. Under the Biden administration, it's just like China. You can do anything you want in this country, just don't speak against the party. Stop speaking against the party. Do anything you want in China. You can be rich, you can have land, you can have social, status, blah, blah, blah. But the minute you speak against the party, you're out of here.
Yeah, well, that's YouTube, why they have a word with you. But anyway, all right. Well, getting there, Matty. I gotta go, man. We're late. We're after 11 already.
Nah, I know. Dang.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It is. Well, somebody's gonna come. Somebody's gonna come across some of this stuff.
Yeah, I think they will. Anyway, we're gonna have to call it quits for the night, man.
All right.
I've been up early. And but I am going to look some of this stuff up, and I think I'm gonna do a little bit differently, rather than us kind of doing the off the cuff thing, and we're quoting stats back and forth, and we kind of doubt each other's stats and stuff. I think I'll do a little pregame with you, and start. This is what I want to talk about. These are the stats I want to talk about. You go get your stats. I got my stats, so we can really have an intelligent, because especially around this prison thing. This one really bothers me.
Yeah, no, yeah. So in all seriousness, Jeff, I would definitely encourage you to check out the prison statistics, because.
Well, I will check them out. I've checked them out when we talked about it.
What you're going to find is Let me see. Put this there.
Well,
that's the people that are incarcerated for violent crimes.
mhm. Right.
That's
No,
the
I'll check
people.
it out.
Okay.
No, I'll check it out. No,
Drug again, and again, I will grant you that that chunk of violent crimes that people are incarcerated for are drug related, 100%.
right.
A lot of them are, but
Could
they're
be.
still
Yeah.
violent crimes. Okay, so that's what you're going to
Yeah.
find, and so I mean that is such a, I mean I hate that. I hate it. I mean, I'm trying to raise money to start a
Mhm.
truck driving school for former inmates. That's how much I hate that. And I'm just
Right.
nobody.
Me, I lived almost 20 years outside the U.S., right?
Yeah.
And for me to look back at the U.S. and think, why don't I feel safe walking the streets in the U.S. compared to walking the streets in Beijing?
Well,
You know?
well, okay,
And
right. And
why,
yeah, we can definitely
why
talk about
do we
that.
have so many
It's
incarcerated? And
no, I know. I hate that. I don't want people in jail. I
right,
do not
right.
want people in jail.
It hurts so many families. I mean, if they're in there for some kind of violent crime, they've hurt the family that they perpetrated the violent crime. Plus, they've got their own family that's missing them, and all the other things that go on.
Right.
I mean, it's a
Terrible.
huge situation.
It's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah.
I don't like how many people are in jail in this country. I
Right.
hate it. I hate it.
So
I just
we
don't
need to
I just don't
maybe
know
talk
how to
about.
fix it. I don't know how to fix it.
I don't either. And then let's talk. Let's look about maybe next week
Yeah.
talking about crime and punishment and maybe the homeless problem too, because I think they kind of go hand in hand too.
Yeah. No, I think those are good things to talk about. Well, and
Unless something else pops
that's
up, unless Flyin Ted screws up again, we can insert him in there as a.
oh yeah. Well, yeah,
So
yeah.
there's probably an opportunity. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what goes on. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody, yeah, well, so to be honest with you, a lot of the political pundits I listen to are they're all worried about Senator Cruz, and I'm kind of like, yeah, oh, jeez. Okay, so
Don't worry about it.
right. He's going to be
Let
up
it
for
be planned.
re-election I mean, the political memory of most folks in this country are
Yep.
maybe a month.
He just has to make up his mind whether he's going to run for senator or
Well,
president.
I'm fairly well convinced he'll run in 2024 for president. So,
I think.
and let me throw something really scary at you. Trump backs him.
I know.
Trump doesn't run, but Trump backs him.
Right.
There might be your problem. I've
Maybe.
been thinking about this for a while.
I've been thinking about it too. I don't know if that's an asset or a liability. We'll see in 4.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he is well positioned to run, and Trump say, you know what, I'm too old or whatever, but I'm putting the mantle on Senator Cruz.
Sure.
That might be something.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, look at the Dems are so crafty. I mean, I'm just like, the stuff they come up with is like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing political move. You know, I mean, I am never ceased to, I never cease to be amazed at the Democrat political move. I mean, they're brilliant. They're unified. They're together. They hold the line. And they say, you know what? Doesn't matter what blah. You know, Nancy Pelosi got her hair done. Whatever. Yeah. Gavin Newsom going out to the front.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. We're
Right.
together. And that, I mean, that's something the pubs just do not have. We are not.
I think by 24, and I'm really hoping for this, is that we have 3 parties. We have the Democrats, the Republicans, and the Trumplicans. And that way, the Democrats will be assured of a victory.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. That may very well be a possibility, but
and then we'll see which one
But I will say this. I mean, say what you will about Senator Cruz, but he's a bloody genius.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
I've read his bio. I've gone through his whole bio.
And he is not the only smart Republican in the Republican Party.
No.
So
actually, I got a couple of. You know the one that I would vote for is John Kasich from Ohio.
Oh, he's a moron. No, he's gone.
No,
all those. Okay, so let's just get real clear on something right now. All the Lincoln Project, the Never Trumpers, they're done. They are done. They yeah. Oh yes, they are. Oh, that scandal with the Lincoln Project, they're done. They're done.
Really?
They will not be a factor.
Trump is paying porn stars, and you're worried about a scandal with the Lincoln Project? He's paying hundreds of millions of dollars out of his
the Never Trumpers. The Never Trumpers will not be a factor. They will not be a factor.
You know what? Even if the Lincoln Project fails and it goes under this year, okay? 2021 is its last year. Something else will pop up to be Never Trumper.
And that will be an increasingly minority report within the Republican Party. And again, that's where the Dems have an advantage. You don't have a never Obama or a never Biden or a never blah blah. You don't have that in the Dem Party. You are unified. You hold the line. You don't speak against the party. You promote everything they do, no matter how bullshit, dipshit it is. Like, Senator Cruz went to Cancun. Oh my God. Yeah, we've got to defend that. No, that's the big deal about Senator Cruz. A guy like Mario Cuomo is covering up numbers of COVID deaths that he allowed to happen. And he's,
is he really?
Yes, he is. And he's threatened his own party members. Have you not heard about this?
I've heard some of it.
Yeah, he's threatened his own party members that he will destroy them politically if they don't retract their statements and go along with his talking points on what went down in upstate New York. Even Bloomberg, what's his name? Bullshit mayor of New York City, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
has come out and said, yeah, this is the MO of Mario Cuomo. He's a political bully. He said that straight up. Okay. So while everybody's worried about Senator Cruz going down to Cancun, oh my gosh, he could have saved lives if he would have stayed in Texas. Mario Cuomo is being covered up for when he actually did cost lives.
Well, if Cuomo's being covered up, it's not Marion. It's Marion is his dad. But anyway,
Cuomo's being Andrew, whatever, Mario.
Andrew, yeah. Andrew, so if he's being covered up, he's being covered up by Cruz. Because Cruz is doing something. Because that was again. If there was a mistake for Cruz going down to Cancun during this time, he covered up for Andrew Cuomo having tens of thousands of seniors slaughtered in nursing homes because he put them back in there with COVID. Right. Good job, Senator Cruz. He covered for that. My goodness, my goodness. What's going on and up in New York is just unblessed believable. And what's the nation focused on? Oh my gosh, Senator Cruz went to Cancun for one day. But let's say 10,000 people. Let's say that we had 10,000 seniors die in New York. Okay. Next week we're going to cross over the 500,000 people dying of COVID, and we're just like a year since the first death. We're a year and 2 days out. What happened? What the heck happened? Okay, so let's say Cuomo screwed up whatever he did. What happened with the rest of the nation? How did we end up here, man? This is just, we got countries in the rest of the world that don't have any of this problem. Why are we're the richest, powerful?
Cuomo has done in New York compared to somebody like DeSantis in Florida, where he has he has the oldest population in the country by far.
Sure.
He's handled this perfectly. He's opened up. The state is open. No problems. But you have the exact opposite in New York, but you have way more deaths. Explain that to me.
I think the deaths in New York and Florida were quite close.
They're close, but you're talking about deaths per million, and you're also talking about the oldest population in the country, the most vulnerable population.
No, I get
So
you.
so you're telling me that the masks and lockdowns and blah blah blah, let's crunch on this thing, and let's lock this thing down. Cuomo's policies in New York haven't been effectively markedly. In fact, they're worse. New York's got more deaths than Florida does. In that score.
Yeah, they're pretty close, but
They are close.
I don't know.
They are close, but DeSantis is we're open. Schools are open, restaurants are open, economy's open. New York, nope, nothing.
So you believe that if we would have left everything open, it would have been better?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I think President Trump would have been reelected had he said, "Okay, we're not going to succumb to this panic. We don't know what this disease is. The 15, 30 days, let's lock down. Let's do that, and flatten the curve." That was the idea.
We do that.
Oh, they did.
We never did.
Oh, yes, they did.
No, we.
No, yes. Oh, yes, they did. No, the idea
No,
was
we never
they absolutely accomplished that.
They did
no,
not.
look at the data.
No,
100% they did. What?
No,
Name?
well,
Okay, name one. Okay,
you've never-
No. Name
Yeah.
one. Name one hospital that was overwhelmed with COVID cases, because the hospitals didn't have capacity to take care of COVID cases. Name one
I'm not
hospital.
talking about that.
No.
Let's
That was the
down.
point of flattening the curve. No, you're missing the point. The point of flattening the curve was so we wouldn't overwhelm the healthcare. Right? That happened.
I understand.
That 100% happened.
You're right.
There was not one hospital. There was not one municipality. In fact, Cuomo sent a whole ship away. Oh, we don't need this.
Yep.
We've got plenty of hospital capacity. We've got plenty of respirators. We've got all this stuff. In fact, Cuomo, at one point, praised Trump for giving him what he needed at one point. Okay? So, the flatten the curve thing worked. The thing of it is that we were not prepared for, okay, this is going to ramp up again, right? But we've got the hospital capacity for it. We're going to save lives. That's how it should have went on. They should have never locked down the economy the way they've done before. And it's especially atrocious that that schools are like, it's
You know what? I'm sorry to hear that you believe this, because if you look at other countries, they didn't flatten the curve. They wiped it out. They actually did a lockdown. Not like
we didn't. So I'm not talking about other countries. I'm talking about the United States.
I know.
This is what we decided to do.
Wrong.
This is our culture. This is how we're going to handle this.
I know.
We're
special.
We are.
We can't learn anything.
Well, whatever. I don't really care. The point is that the entire world depends on the United States economy going forward.
All right.
And then
we got to go.
Yeah.
That's it. You're right. USA.
Well,
you're amazing sometimes. But one of these days, we're gonna have to open your eyes. One of these days.
Well, look, bro. I've been open to it. I've thought that maybe, the American experiment wasn't the right way to go.
Well, I think it is.
And then,
what I mean someday is you get to see how other cultures live, and that they're not subservient to what America is, and you'll be.
Well, all right.
They go on vacations. They have nice cars. They have nice houses.
Well,
you'd be very surprised. You think that all these people are less than?
No.
No.
It's not a
country.
No,
than most European.
Right. Well, I think we live in the freest, most prosperous nation in the world, of course. So
we're number 15.
So do you want to compare that to Western Europe? Okay. Well, maybe they've got freedoms. They're prosperous. Great.
Yeah.
That's great. But they're not as free and they're not as prosperous as we are.
They are.
They're not. Germany's
They
not.
are.
I can't go over to Germany and hold a Nazi rally. I can't.
No, you don't need to. Why would you want to?
Well,
here. Right here. We're number 15.
okay, so you are citing a study based on surveys, right?
I'm citing the 2020 rankings.
Right, based on how are they gathering that data?
State of the World Liberty Index.
How are they gathering that?
Oh, no, I have to read the whole thing. I don't
How are they gathering that data? It's by surveys.
So you data out all you want, but how are you
No,
gathering your data?
I'm not trying to throw your data out. I'm asking you, how are they gathering that data?
Right.
How are they gathering it? If it's by surveys, okay.
I'm gonna look it up.
If it's by survey, then of course, people have their opinions. They're gonna say, yeah, we live in the most prosperous free country in the world.
Okay.
Of course they might say that. Right. So you've
Okay.
got to look at how they're gathering data. That's what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is because you live here in the U.S., of course you would say that this is the most prosperous free.
Of course I would. Of course I would say that. However,
if you had a global look at
however, I have
like
hard
15.
however, I have hard data to back that up. First of all,
you have our data, the U.S. data to back that
I
up.
do. I have hard data.
As a globalist, I have the global data to tell you you're wrong.
Well, no. What is the
You know, the quickest
what
way
is
for
the
a
what is
conservative,
where does the United States
conservative win an
where
argument.
does the United States rank in global GDP per capita?
Depends on how you count.
No. I mean, just generally speaking.
Depends on how you count. It's either
No.
U.S. or China.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh, China is way down there. No, GDP per capita.
We're either number
GDP
one
per
or number
capita.
two.
I'm talking about average. Okay, so GDP per capita.
I don't know.
Okay. Here we go. All right, do a little fact check here.
I hate doing this on the video.
No, you're good. I think this is good for our listeners. Somebody's gonna catch this. Somebody is gonna catch this.
List of countries by GDP nominal per capita.
Okay. Yeah. Where's the
United States? Number 5.
5? Yep. Exactly right. Where's China?
Yeah.
Find China.
See where it's at. We got a lot of capita.
Yeah. Yes, they do. They do have a lot of capita. I agree with that. Where do they rank?
59.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And that's done by the International Monetary Fund. The World Bank says U.S. is number 8.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I mean, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure there are other countries where you can be more prosperous than the United States. Now,
there you go.
Okay. We're 5th, 8th. China is 50. What?
59.
Okay.
All right.
And I can almost assure you that there are that anybody that ranks above the United States is not a country outside Western Europe.
You're correct.
Okay.
United States right now, our GDP is 19.5 trillion.
Okay.
China is 12.2 trillion.
Yeah.
That's not per capita. That's
total, right? Yeah. No, China is a competitor, no question about that. In overall GDP, no question, China is a competitor. It's just where can an individual be the most prosperous? That's what individual GDP shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
So,
that GDP working for you?
what's that?
Okay. How's that GDP working for you?
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's nowhere else in the world I could go. Because listen, think about my life. I've lived all over this country. And I have always gone where I where me and my family can be the most prosperous.
Right.
That's and you can measure that by different metrics. But never have I once considered going to Canada to be more prosperous.
No.
Nope.
I made a lot more money in Canada whenever I lived up there
Well,
than I make now.
yeah, but that just wasn't, never have I considered moving to Western Europe to try that.
Yeah.
You know,
Every place I lived outside the United States, I've made more money than I make here.
well, fair enough, and I think that.
And had more vacation time, more holidays.
Well, okay,
and
sure,
more
and I think
all the
right, and I wouldn't disagree that in some certain circumstances on individual levels that might be the case, but from a 20,000 foot level, looking down, if you're looking down, you're going, okay, I'm in this situation that's not great. Where can I go to be the most prosperous?
Mm-hmm.
The United States is the place to go. All right. So now freedom is a more difficult thing to measure. Because again, it depends on what you're.
Let's say something. Hold on.
Okay.
We got to cut it. It's
I know.
already 11:30 now. Got another. So that said, let's talk about this whole definition of freedom, how we rate, maybe even some examples of other countries.
Right.
It's for next week. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the homelessness along with the prison situation.
Right.
What's good about the U.S., what's maybe not so good or maybe good in other countries, okay?
Sure.
I'll give you a pregame at least a couple of days in advance with some citations, so we'll have some things to talk about. And we can agree on numbers or agree to disagree on numbers or whatever, but then we'll actually have some real numbers that we can bring to our people and say, okay, and then we can give our opinion why those numbers are that way, right?
Yeah.
Because I think you might be a little squeamish on some of these. Okay.
Well, no, that's okay. I mean, again, I'm not resistant to change. Don't misunderstand. But what I'm skeptical of is the government being the main cog in the change. I think. Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Time.
So yeah. So I would definitely. I mean, because again, that's where I am really just to maybe put a bow on this. I'm really hoping that our country can get back to. I hate how many people are in our jails. I hate that. I fucking hate. I can't express to you how I'm just infuriated over that. I don't want people to be in jail. I don't.
Right.
It's disgusting that we have homeless people. I hate that. There should not be homeless people here.
It's horrible that one of the biggest states in the country has no electricity for a week. It's
Agreed.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
You know what?
So
I was living in Taiwan, and I'm looking at and gee, I didn't want to extend this any further, but living in our country happened to that area because I used to live in New Orleans. I worked on a nuclear power plant down there, and I was down there for almost a year. And everybody there knows what the water levels are. Everybody knows they're going to have hurricanes. Everybody knows all these things are going to happen. And still, there was huge failures on everything. And I'm watching it. The people I'm in the office with are asking me, how in the world can that happen in America? How can we be trying, nursing homes that people just walked out, let the people drown in their beds, stuff like that. I mean, that's just craziness to me that, that's not what you think of as so.
Right.
And but anyway.
Well,
but anyway, that's our three things next week: defining freedom, jails, and homeless.
Yeah. Right. And so that's where, you know, that's I think that's a great place to go, because we can focus on things that we see as, hey, this is a problem. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're fucking America.
That's right.
You know,
And we figure it out.
yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like, Team America, America, fuck yeah, right? We're America.
Yeah.
You know, we see these problems. Why can't we solve them? Right? And that's the thing is that I'm so hoping our country can get back to is, hey, we agree. We don't want to see all these guys in jail.
Right.
But what's the solution to it? Hey, we see that we have a climate situation here.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. But what are we going to do about it? Right? So we
Right.
agree on, okay, this is a problem. That's a problem. This is a problem. All right. We agree that these are problems. But let's reason together. God, that's what I'm so hoping for returns to America. Because right now what I'm hearing is, hey, our solutions are the only solutions. And that's from both sides.
Right.
Our solutions are the only you
Okay, I got.
Oh, you gotta go. All right.
Really?
Let's give it up. Man.
All right.
This is good. I think this is our best episode.
We'll see.
No question
See
about
if we get any viewers.
Well, so.
How many we got on this now? How many people are watching us right now?
Well, let's see. What do we got? No, it's still 2. Yeah, so we still got 2.
Well, good night, you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. So we'll get we need to get we need some marketing here. That's what we need. We need marketing.
All right. Well, for tonight, I'm done.
All right. Be good, brother.
All right. Talk to you later.
Take care. Yeah.
We
See
will.
ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.